Welcome, everyone. Chris Bagley with my partners, Brian Nelson and Soal Balazi on the Solana Car Sports Network. We have an outstanding matchup today between the visiting Pacific Union Financial Capitalists and the Rockville Rock Hounds. The Puff Caps came out on top against the Rock Hounds in the first matchup, 13-3. So, Brian, what do the Puff Caps need to do to get that second victory?
I think they just really need to rely on their talent level. The team philosophy is to get all of these Division I prospects. They're recent high school graduates, and they're a team full of really good talent, so they just need to rely on their talent.
So Revis takes the ball, 1-0. And so, what do the Rock Hounds need to do in order to get the first win against the Puff Caps?
Well, the first two hitters, Willie Holmes and Daniel Page, they're both hitting 250 right now. Holmes is hit 3 walks in the season, and Page has 1. So if they just get on base, take their pitches, slow down the at-bat, so then the 3, 4, 5 hitters could get on or come up and then get them over and in. And that could start the recipe for success for them.
Exactly. As Revis hits it up the middle, LeBeau unable to make the play. That'll put Revis on.
Yeah, that was an excellent attempt by LeBeau on that sliding attempt. You have a lot of infield talent on this Rockhound roster where so many players can play shortstop, and LeBeau was one of them. So you just kind of see that skill level there. It was just ticked off the glove of Wood, so it was just too slow for LeBeau to make any sort of play on that one.
Exactly. And, Brian, you also have the lineup for the visiting Puff Caps, don't you?
Yeah, obviously Steven Rivas led off, and he's playing center. Quentin Selma, now in the batter's box, is the 2-hole hitter.
Takes a ball low and in.
Trey Cruz is a 3-hole hitter. He'll be playing second. Nick Bruiser is the cleanup hitter. He's at first. Zach Presno, the DH, will be batting 6th. Drew Williams, the shortstop, batting Presno is 5th. Drew Williams will be batting 6th at shortstop. Tate Soderstrom, the left fielder, will be batting 7th.
Soma takes a ball again, low and in.
Tyler Lash, the catcher, will be batting 8th. And Cody Stevenson, the right fielder, rounds out the Puff Caps lineup.
And so, do you have the Rock Hounds?
Yes, I do. We have Willie Holmes leading off, playing shortstop. Daniel Page playing third base in the 2nd hole. Max Smith in the 3rd position, center field. Cleanup is Nate Gutierrez playing first base. Brent Frazier catching today in the 5th spot. Kenny Quilliton DHing today in the 6th. Evan Facenda playing left field, hitting 7th. We have Kyle Krebs in right field playing 8th. And rounding up, we have Kenny LeBeau playing second base.
Thank you, Soad.
My pleasure, guys.
Selma takes a strike in there. Set up a 2-1 count. Hit and run situation.
You think he's going on this pitch?
I don't believe so, as Selma pops it over the left side. Just foul. Like 2-2.
What gave it away, him not running?
Yeah, I think that did it.
Well, Selma, the third baseman, is a really interesting prospect. He was billed as the top hitter on the National Championship Clovis, California team, and he's committed to Cal Berkeley next year.
Wow, a lot of D1 prospects on this Pacific Union team. That's for sure. He takes a slider inside. That'll set up a full count. What do you think, Brian? 3-2 count. No outs. Beginning of the game. Do you think Revis runs here?
I don't think so, and I'm wrong.
Selma lines it in the left field. Unable to make the plays with Senda. Revis goes on to third. The play. He's out of there.
And if they listened to me, they'd be safe at first and second. But because the runner went, he obviously had a good enough jump that he thought he could take third. But Facenda shows his arm strength for somebody we've seen on SCSN predominantly at first show off his arm accuracy and throws out Rivas trying to advance to third.
Great play by Facenda in left field. Looked like he got a bad jump, able to get the short hop and throwing over to Page to get that first out.
He did a good job on keeping the ball in front of him, because if the ball had got past him, he would have been safe at third and quite possibly scored on that play. But good job for Facenda for keeping it in front of him.
As Trey Cruz steps in, number 3 hitter for the Puff Caps.
And so that was, you never want to make the first or last out at third, and that's exactly what happened for the Puff Caps. So for the Rockville Rock Hounds, that's a huge break for them.
And so this is Trey Cruz, and if that Cruz name sounds familiar to Bay Area fans, his father is Jose Cruz Jr., and his grandfather is Jose Cruz Sr., both former Major League players.
Take the backdoor slider in there. That'll set up 1 and 2.
He's the third member of his family who is going to be committed to Rice University down in Texas.
Tall, lanky guy, 6'1", 175.
And not going to follow in his father's footsteps and be an outfielder, as he's a second baseman here this afternoon.
2-2 the count.
I understand them being aggressive on the base paths, but like you said earlier, it was the first inning, no outs, so they were just being a little too aggressive. So I doubt Selma's going to go here, and he does not.
As Cruz swings and misses. That'll be the first strikeout for Witch.
And Witch is a newcomer to the team, so we haven't seen a ton of Witch, but he's been pretty impressive in his limited appearances here.
Yeah, out of College of Marin, I believe. He had, I believe, one start where I broadcasted the game, and he did a pretty good job. So let's see if he can keep it up against the Puff Caps today.
For the Rock Hounds, he only pitched 3 innings so far, and he has a 12 ERA, which is inflated, of course, because, the only 3 innings pitched. But like you said, he has good stuff, so let's see how far he goes, into the game today. But so far, so good, getting 2 outs quickly.
As number 4 hitter, Nick Bruiser takes a ball in.
Okay.
Set up 2-0. How about that last name, Bruiser?
I was going to say, that's a cool baseball name.
As a cleanup hitter?
And Bruiser is the Gatorade Player of the Year out of the state of Arizona. He won MLB's High School Select Home Run Derby during All-Star Weekend.
If you have the last name of Bruiser, you have to win Home Run Derby.
Which sets the pitch. Fastball in there. That'll be 2 and 2.
Yeah, and that makes a whole lot of difference with a power hitter like Bruiser. 3-1. Bruiser can look for his pitch and try to drive one over the fence, but 2 and 2 now, which jumps ahead in the count and now has a chance to put away Bruiser and get out of this inning unscathed.
Yeah, exactly. On a 3-1 pitch, you only look for your pitch and your pitch only. Here, he's probably looking like a fastball in, down the middle, not really, or outside pitch.
Yeah, I try to get him to chase a little bit, and what I like is Bruiser choked up on the bat a little bit. You don't see that from a lot of power hitters who want to rely on that power, but obviously shows a good baseball approach to choke up to try to just get a little bit more back control down to 2 strikes.
Veteran move, definitely. That'll send Selma at first. There he goes. Bruiser hits that into center field. That'll get past Smith, who makes it awkward angle. That'll drive in Selma for the first run of the game. Puff Caps 1-0.
Their hit and run has been great so far. He did get thrown out. Rivas did get thrown out at third. That was a mistake, but it was a hit and run, and it was successful. Another hit and run, and it was successful. It was just Smith took an awkward approach to that, let the ball get past him, and which eventually scored a run.
Yeah, even if Smith took the perfect approach, I think with Selma's speed and him going on that 3-2 2-out pitch, I think he would have scored easily. But I give credit to Bruiser, too, to get that inside-out approach and go the opposite way to drive home the first run of the ball game.
He got a fastball, typical 3-2 pitch, and he took full advantage of that. As Zach Presno steps in, takes a ball low and away.
Kind of a stress inning for Witch. A lot of pitches in this inning, runner in scoring position. Just trying to shut it down right here.
As he drives it into left field. That'll be down for another hit. Presnell going for 2. In there, the stand-up RBI double.
And just like that, Presnell, attacked on that pitch, and now he's standing in scoring position again.
Switching places was Bruiser and Presnell.
It's key to attack the pitcher early in the game because that's when you see the stuff at first. So before he settles in, you try to jump on, and that's exactly what the Caps are doing to Witch right now.
He's done a lot of fastballs, and the Puff Caps are able to take full advantage of that. As Witch throws look like a cutter in there for strike 1. One and one. Drew Williams, 6'1", 190. Looks like he has a scholarship going to the school of UCSB down in Santa Barbara.
Like you said, a lot of D1 kids in here.
He pops it up. Hamza looks to be under it. Able to make the play over the shoulder. That'll end the inning. So Puff Caps able to score 2 on Witch. That'll bring up Hamza, Page, and Smith for the Rock Hounds.
Hi, this is Willie Hamza, and thank you for watching the Solana College Sports Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That'll bring up Willie Hamza for the Rock Hounds leading it off. Again, starting pitcher for the Puff Caps, Riley Lamb. 6'1", 185. Pitcher. So Hamza takes a first pitch fastball in there, 0-1.
And our Professor Greg Poff will be happy to know that he's a future USC Trojan.
Great school. As Hamza fouls it left side. We'll bring it to 0-2.
Hamza himself going to Brown University, so it shows his intelligence outside of the baseball field. Classic righty-lefty matchup.
Takes a fastball in there looking. First strikeout of the day for Lamb.
The Rock Hounds didn't need that. They needed, if you're gonna make an out, sure, but at least take more pitches. See the pitcher more and make him work more instead of having an easy 1, 2, 3 out.
It definitely shows the movement though on Lamb's pitches that he just took that one looking. There must be some crazy two-seam action to just take that on the inside corner.
Yeah, as he caught Hamza, good morning, good afternoon, and good night on a fastball, pretty much right down the middle.
Yeah, and if you're a leadoff hitter, all your first at bat really is information gathering, where you can tell your teammates what you're looking at, and you can definitely find some good information to tell his teammates.
1-1 the count. Two and 1.
And ideally, for the Rock Hounds, you'd like to get Page on to get the heart of the order with runners on base to try to get back in this game after the Caps scored 2.
This Page is at the right center. Rivas under it, able to get the sun out of his way for the second out. I'll bring up power hitter
Center fielder Max Smith.
Max Smith for the Rock Hounds, looking to extend the inning.
That was beautiful. That was beautifully hit. It was just hit right for an out. So nothing much you can do on that play for Page.
Just got under the fastball. He flied it out to center field as Smith takes a fastball outside, 1-0. Smith, 339 so far this summer, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs, the 19 leading the Rock Hounds.
And now he has a good hitters count, 2-0. After Lamb jumped ahead of the first 2 batters, getting ahead in the count. It's nice to see the Rock Hounds get a favorable hitters count, but he looks at that for a strike.
Looks like a changeup. Not something you typically see on a 2-0 pitch.
Especially inside to a lefty, you have to be very confident in yourself to throw a changeup down and in.
Smith flies that to left. Soderstrom able to make the catch. That'll be a 1-2-3 inning for the Puff Caps. They have Soderstrom, Lutsch, and Stevenson leading it off in the top of the second.
This is Max Smith. Thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
Welcome back. As the Puff Caps have left fielder Tate Soderstrom leading it off.
Soderstrom out of Turlock had a career batting average of .370 in high school.
Takes a fastball up.
16 doubles, 5 triples, 3 bombs for 47 runs batted in his 75 games played in his high school career, so that's probably over 2 varsity seasons.
I mean, this Puff Caps team, it literally takes top kids from, any state, any type of high school, and brings them into this one powerful team. Soderstrom flies that out to left field. Trouble, looks like, able to drop down in front of Facenda for a base hit.
Yeah, that one just right in the Bermuda Triangle where everybody on that left side of the defense has a long way to travel. Really nothing you could do there.
Just a tough play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it almost looked like the end of the inning for the Rock Hounds. Soderstrom actually made that, play which the ball went foul and came fair. But, in this situation, it was just a tough play all around.
As catcher Tyler Lash stepping in with no out, which deals a fastball up, 1-0. Lash going to Cal State Fullerton, who was just in the College World Series. So a great baseball school. So he takes a fastball to even up the count. Which gets the sign from Frazier. Slider hits off Frazier's glove. Able to keep it in front of him.
According to perfectgame.org, Lash is the 6th ranked catcher in the state of California in the class of 2017, 56th overall prospect, and he's committed to Cal State Fullerton like Chris mentioned.
He fouls it back. 2-2.
3.0 GPA. And nationally, he is ranked 37th at catcher and the 369th overall prospect.
Wow.
In the nation.
He grounds it over to second, and LeBeau just gets one. And Lash, about a Soderstrom, move over to second on the fielder's choice from LeBeau. Bring up Cody Stevenson. Number 9 hitter.
That was a good productive out to advance the runner into scoring position. So at the very least, you don't get a double play ball because it was hit so slowly. And the Puff Caps look to turn over the lineup to their potent top with Rivas, Selma, and Cruz.
Fastball in there. 0-1. What do you think Witch has to do today in order to be successful against the Puff Caps?
I think he has to try to keep them off balance, and he has to get into that psychological pitching game that you need as a starter where they don't know what you're about to throw.
Stevenson grounds it over to Gutierrez on the fielder's choice. That'll bring at the top of the order for the Puff Caps, Steven Rivas.
Steven Rivas.
Rivas had that leadoff single to begin the game. Start off that 2-run top of the first for the Puff Caps. Takes a slider in there, 0-1. Which looking to have a bounce back inning. As Rivas hits that into right field. Having trouble is Krebs. That'll get down. And that'll plate Soderstrom for a 3-0 lead against the Rock Hounds.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is the first time we've seen Krebs in right. Obviously, it's a different perspective off the bat, and Krebs didn't look too comfortable going back on that one. He got turned around, and obviously it was too tough of a play to make on that one.
Looked like the sun might have got in his eyes, even with the sunglasses on in right field.
Yeah.
With a little bit of wind, too, here today. Always windy at Billy Louise Yarborough Stadium.
You look at the flags out in the outfield. They're going right now.
Selma swings and misses.
Selma singled and scored his first time up.
Into center field. Looks like it's going to fall. It does. That'll bring in Rivas to extend the lead to 4-0.
And that's kind of the last thing you need if you're the Rock Hounds, for
Second baseman.
the hitter to get out in front of it and it hits off the end of the bat, but it finds the space in the field of play. By no means did Selma hit that ball hard. It was right off the end of the bat, but it just bloops perfectly into center field.
Just happened to, find the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a few of those two from these hitters in the Puff Caps have fallen down, and just timely hitting. This Cruz just foul.
And See, that's just kind of an example, that last play, of how perfect you have to play against this Puff Caps team. Gutierrez was trying to field that in fair territory so they could get out of the inning, but obviously it went just foul when he picked up that ball. But that's not a play you typically see. You usually just accept it goes foul, and just
not at all. You got to jump on
play
those.
another day.
Yeah, you got to jump on those opportunities, especially against a team in the Puff Caps. Just a big, powerful, aggressive team. Rock Hounds can't, lose themselves. 1-1 the count. Cruz takes a slider outside, 2-1.
And there you see the first baseman for the Rock Hounds, Nate Gutierrez, holding on. Quentin Selma, who's now 2 for 2. Trey Cruz struck out in his first at-bat.
So he fouls it out of play, left side. That'll even up the count.
He's the only switch hitter on the team, and obviously with his dad being Jose Cruz Jr., he was a switch hitter as well. For the, I knew Jose Cruz Jr. as a Blue Jay for most of my baseball knowledge.
Like father, like son. Just inside. Bring it 3-2. I'll send Selma over there first.
And that play by Krebs is end up huge, as both of these, as Cruz fouls out one off, both of these run scoring opportunities have all come with 2 outs. So the Puff Caps with 2 outs have really shown an ability to put runs up on the board. I think all four runs have come with 2 outs.
Really just frustrating as a pitcher to see that happen, especially when you could have been out of this inning. So Cruz holds up on a swing, takes the walk. That'll bring it to first and second.
Nick Bruiser.
The big 4-hitter, Nick Bruiser, up at the plate.
And he hit a double into right center. It was basically center, but I think they were playing Bruiser to pull a little bit, and it just was hit so hard it went right past Max Smith over in center. He drove in the first run.
Bruiser fouls first pitch fastball. And it looks like the outfield, the way it's playing today, they're not trying to have anything hit in the gaps. So you see Krebs out in right field playing more towards right center than right. Facenda playing normal left field, and Smith just shaded on over to the left side of second base. Change up in the dirt.
But I will give Wooch credit. It doesn't seem like he's phased too much. It doesn't look like him having to work through these 2-out jams has changed his pitching philosophy any. So there's something to say about kind of having that grinding mentality of not letting adversity change who you are.
And it's like he hasn't, found the strike zone. He's been aggressive with these hitters, pitched really well as far as pitch breakdown, when to throw what, and just having some not so much luck.
Yeah, sometimes baseball is just a lucky game, and like you said, that walk to Cruz in his last at bat, that was the first walk of the game.
As Bruiser hits on over to Krebs in right field, they're sending Selma. He's in there, cut off by Gutierrez. That'll bring it to 5-0. Puff Caps.
Second RBI for Nick Bruiser.
Zach Fresno.
Bruiser with that inside-out approach. Both hits into right field. Just solid contact. Great swing, level swing. What you want in a 4-hitter.
And I think that's especially what you want during the summer, where you may be trying to expand your game. And so Bruiser being a power hitter, as we mentioned, a home run derby champ, typically that's pull side. But to be a well-rounded baseball player, obviously, is what you're aiming for. This is Zach Fresno, the DH. He doubled home Nick Bruiser right after he had doubled for the second run of the ball game.
Takes a slider low and away. 2-0. Which falling behind here. He's done a pretty good job so far as getting ahead of the hitters. See if he can bounce back here against Fresno. Fastball in there. Bring it to 2-1.
So Fresno's going to Fresno, as he's a
How about
Fresno
that?
State.
How about that rhyme?
commit. Yep. He had to, right? He's also the 8th ranked position player, 8th ranked person at his position in the state of California, 80th overall. So we talked about Lash.
He swings and misses on the fastball low and in.
So he and Lash are the two catchers. So how would you like to have 2 top 10 catchers in the state of California on the same roster?
That's why one's playing and one's DHing. Gotta have him in the lineup.
Must be quite the luxury.
Yeah, especially for a coach. I mean, having all these, prospects, I guess you could say, mixing them in, piecing them together to have one solid lineup.
Yeah, when I Google Zach Fresno to try to find some information about him, the first thing that comes up after his name is MLB Draft. So that kind of shows what kind of potential that these players have. On their website, they have Willie Calhoun, who we've talked about before the game, was a stud locally.
Played for Benicia.
Benicia, yeah. And I believe they had a second-round draft pick from the Brewers, who came out of the Puff Caps, who played summer ball with the Puff Caps. So this is a potent team.
He fouls it back, right side, out of play. Still 2-2.
And these are tough at-bats. Cruz walked on a 3-2. Bruiser down a 2-1. But Wutch is grinding, and he's not falling behind too much on these hitters as well. It's just a matter of putting them away. That's the tough part when they're so skilled like this, is trying to put them away. You're probably not going to strike them out too many times.
Really got to buckle down. So there's a hanging slider off of Page's glove. Not able to make the play, as it looked like he caught it, then dropped it.
Yeah, that one had some funk on it because that did not go on a straight line to Daniel Page.
It looked like it might have hit off the end of the bat and maybe knuckled.
Yeah.
And kind of just carried out of his glove. So that'll go down as an E5.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough error for Page. Not much he could have done on it, but obviously got a lot of glove on it. Could have put it away.
Again, which should have been out of this inning. As I'll bring up Drew Williams.
This is the 9th Puff Cap to come to the plate in this half inning alone. So should he reach and continue this 2-out rally, they would have batted around.
So we got a little conversation going between Stover and
the opposing manager for
third base coach, for the
I
Puff Caps. I was trying to see who it was, but they didn't have it labeled.
And Daniel Page looked like he got some new leather as he's changed gloves. So maybe it could have come out of the webbing of the glove. And that happens sometimes. You have used gloves.
Just old gloves, and sometimes, the middle part just kind of comes off, and you don't even know it. It takes a nice hard hit ball, just like Fresno did right there, and Page unable to make the play. As Williams flies that in the center. Smith should be under it, having trouble, able to make the catch. That'll end the inning. So Puff Caps 3 in the top of the second. Rock Hounds looking to do a little bit of damage, chip away as they're down 5-0. That'll bring up Gutierrez, Frazier, and Quilliton.
Hey guys, I'm Swad Blasi here with Coach Stover. So Coach, the season's halfway through. What have you seen from your guys so far?
We have some guys who can really hit. The thing about summer is it's developmental. If we played the best guys every day, I think our record would be a lot better. That's developmental. We have, a mix of Division I guys, Division II guys, some JC guys, and even a couple of JC redshirt guys in there too. Like a game like today, we're playing high school kids who are going to Division I schools, so we're playing all of our younger guys, none of our better guys, just to get guys some work.
So pitching is key, obviously, to a baseball game, to win a baseball game. And Wutch is struggling in the first and second. So what do you say to him to have his confidence back up?
You know, he's made some good pitches. He's missed some spots. His off-speed stuff is he's not getting over for strike, especially his breaking stuff. You know, and he's had some plays that should have been made defensively, 3 of them in particular. And we don't play defense. It's hard for pitchers. They got to work even harder. So I told him to keep throwing strikes and keep the ball down.
Thank you, Coach. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Saul. So that'll bring up Nate Gutierrez, first baseman for the Rock Hounds.
And yeah, I think Coach Stover is kind of echoing the sentiments we've been having so far in this broadcast, where the defensive letdowns behind which really kind of make things worse when you have such a little margin to play with these D1 talents.
Gutierrez fouls it over to Coach Bobby over there at first.
But it's just important for Wish to keep battling, keep getting in the strike zone. And 5-0, we've seen the Rock Hounds put up staggering numbers offensively.
Exactly.
So by no means are they out of it.
Come over a 9-0 deficit, 10-0 deficit, you know, really just some grinders. Never out of the game. As Gutierrez takes a fastball low. And going back to what you said about Woods, you know, that's just, it's really got to be frustrating up there as a pitcher, like Stover was saying, you know, to even work even harder. But on the mound in Woods, you got to have that confidence, so you can't, you know, let it get to your head as Gutierrez swings and misses. You can't let it get to your head and affect your game. Gutierrez ready. Fastball just inside.
And this is the bat like you'd like to see from Gutierrez, the first batter after a long half inning, work a full count to Riley Lamb, who had a 1-2-3 inning his first time up.
As he takes a walk. Great plate discipline for Gutierrez right there to lead off the Rock Hounds with a walk.
So here's a little just a little footnote for you guys. When I was, in there interviewing Coach Stover, as I was leaving, I heard one of the coaches say, "Hey, you got something in there for Smith? What's wrong with Smith? He has a bloody nose." So that's just a little something that made me turn around real quick. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's just the heat, like stuff happens. But Max Smith has a bloody nose, so let's see.
Interesting. We'll see if Smith stays in the game. Frazier took a nice healthy cut on that fastball.
And also, when I was in the dugout, when Page had to change his glove because the ball just went right through, I saw it firsthand. Margiotta was in there. He said, "Oh, just use some tape," like a little baseball humor.
Tape fixes everything.
Yeah, we got some gaff tape over in our duffel bag. That's pretty strong. Seems to hold up.
Page was not happy when he ripped his glove. I know baseball players who are very, very, anal when it comes to their equipment. And when you rip a glove, he ripped 2 strings too. It wasn't just like one. So he was pretty pissed.
Yeah, we were speculating on that play because it was kind of odd to see him drop it. We thought it might have knuckled on him, but it makes a lot more sense that I was right at him and the glove broke.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very interesting.
I knew there was something wrong.
Yeah.
Looked like a routine bang bang play. Lamb delivers. Frazier able to hold up a swing.
Frazier, a D1 athlete as well. He's going to be a teammate with Trey Cruz over at Rice.
As he fouls it into the visitors' bullpen.
So he has to be a little bit happy to see one of his future teammates do well. Obviously not right now during the play of the game, but afterwards, hey, good job, freshman.
A little friendly competition. He's ready for the 2-2. Takes a curveball in the dirt. That'll bring in a full count. Big sweeping curveball right there from Lamb. Haven't seen that much today.
Yeah, it's the first time I can recall him try to put away a batter with that curveball. And first 2 batters for the Rock Hounds worked full counts against Lamb.
As Frazier swings and misses for the first out of the inning. So that'll bring up
DH Kenny Quilliton.
DH Kenny Quilliton for the Rock Hounds.
That was just excellent pitching to set him up with that inside pitch after that sweeping breaking ball away. That's the kind of rocking back and forth that you like to see.
Great pitch sequence, great baseball IQ. That's what you want. He delivers a fastball just off the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, Frazier, did strike out in that at bat, but like you said, he had good plate discipline prior to that swing and miss. So if you're going to make an out, like I said earlier, at least make the pitcher work for it.
As Quilliton lines it into center, that'll fall for a base hit in front of Rivas. That'll bring it first and second with Evan Facenda stepping up to the plate.
Now batting left fielder Evan
And that's just a
Facenda.
hit you see all the time from Kenny. He has a great up the middle approach. He's so big that you expect him to hit it 100 miles an hour off of the bat, but a lot of times he just makes simple contact and it's right back up the middle for a single, and it's a really good rallying starter. Now there's 2 men on, 1 out for Evan Facenda.
He has a nice level swing, really short, quick, short two, long through, as they say. See if Facenda can get the Rock Hounds on the board here. The runner in scoring position swings and misses.
Yeah, Facenda, really aggressive hitter. His last year at Solano, he had some trouble driving in runs, funny enough, even though he was one of the top hitters. Stover actually batted him leadoff a couple of times because he just seemed to get his hits with nobody on. But here, he has the ability to produce runs.
Yeah, Facenda's hitting 286 so far in the season, and in 21 at bats, he only has 3 RBIs, but that doesn't really mean anything because who knows the opportunities he's had and whatever stuff like that. But he is hitting, over 280. So let's see if he can just get a base hit here.
He calls time.
Yeah, his sophomore year at Solana was constantly in the 350s. He's shown Solana career. He's a hitter for sure.
And it's really crazy how sometimes, with a hitter, any hitter, depending on where you put them in the lineup, how it messes with their head and how they work with it. As again, got another timeout and Lamb
Late
does
call,
it.
yeah.
We saw that with Wutch in the inning before, and we're seeing it right now. And as a fan, just like broadcasting aside, I don't like seeing that because it's very dangerous, in my opinion, for the pitcher. He's already, in the middle of his windup. He's about to release the ball, and you're going to call timeout. So if he stops, he's going to throw in the. You know what I mean? It's not safe. And I understand that umpire is listening to Facenda, and he hears timeout, so he's going to call it. But as an umpire, you should know the situation and know it's like, nope, too late.
Yeah, umpire can say no.
Yeah.
It's their discretion.
He fouls it back.
It's totally up to them to grant them timeout or not. And well, at least we have a nice umpire here.
Exactly. Very generous.
Look optimistically, but yeah, this is the second time that's happened. You don't like to see that for sure.
Because as Lamb is releasing, his hand's already so high in the air that when you call timeout, as you saw, the ball went like 15 feet up the backstop, and it's just not safe.
Yeah, that's a better thing to do, though.
Let it go.
At least let it go.
Yeah.
Again.
Call time.
And, I'm looking in the dugout right now, and Carson Haas, who is a pitcher for the, Solana Falcons and the Rock Hounds, he's laughing over there because as a pitcher, he knows, this is crazy.
Third time in 2 innings that this is happening.
Yeah.
Second time in 3 pitches. Actually, it's technically 1 pitch since he's not throwing.
It does disrupt the pitcher, though.
Gutierrez goes on over to third. In there. On the pass, wild pitch from Lamb. That'll move Quilton over to second, too. So 2-2 count to Facenda. 2 runners in scoring position, looking to add those 2 and chip away at this 5-0 deficit.
And it takes away the routine double play that was in play for Facenda, so a little more laid back, I would assume.
Takes a fastball near the head, 3-2.
You think that had anything to do with the timeout calls?
No.
I don't think so. He probably just got away from Lamb.
Yeah.
And going back to the umpire saying no, I think that off the top of my head, the only player is Facenda. Pops that into center to Rivas. See if Gutierrez goes here. He will. That'll be a RBI sac fly for Facenda. 5-1.
That was a great play by Rivas to throw it to third. He had no chance of getting Gutierrez. The ball just hit too far, too back on the warning track. So if he had thrown home, then Quilliton could have easily tagged up, gone to third. So just like you said, heads up baseball IQ.
Yeah, limit crooked innings. That's what's important here. When you have a 5-run lead, too, that's situational baseball you need to be aware of. as a defender, and so you just try to avoid the big inning as much as you can. So make the simple play. You give up the one, but you hopefully trust your pitcher to just stick it to one.
Kyle Krebs gets hit on the first pitch.
He'll take that. Like you say, you got to take it for the team
Now batting
sometimes.
Second baseman,
Right on the
Kenny
glute.
LeBeau.
You want to be scientific about it?
No pun intended.
Yeah.
So that'll be first and second for the Rock Hounds. And second baseman Kenny LeBeau, this first at bat of the day.
Riley Lamb hit him in the rump roast.
Rump roast. That's a
Yeah.
good one.
All right, keep
Like
going.
Oh, yeah.
See if LeBeau can extend this inning for the Rock Hounds. Driving Quilliton over there at second. The Rock Hounds have gotten to Lamb just a little bit here in the bottoms of the second. Lamb deals. Fouled out of play from LeBeau, 0-1.
I think this is going to be a key from here on out, is to try to get a leadoff runner on, because Nate Gutierrez worked a full count walk on this one, and he came around to score. Usually in baseball, when you get the leadoff runner on, it spells good things for your offense.
As that'll get away from Lash. That'll move Quilliton on over to third. Krebs to second.
And that makes the Rivas play huge, because like Soad said, with him throwing to the cutoff man, Kenny Quilliton standing at second instead of third.
Yep.
And if Lash with that pass ball, Quilliton could have scored conceivably. Cadillac Kenny, as we dubbed him in the last
Cadillac
broadcast.
Kenny, can you explain why?
Because, you know, Kenny's not exactly a burner on the speed paths. So he just kind of cruises along at
Exactly.
a nice,
Cadillac.
consistent speed.
Who came up with Cadillac Kenny? I like that. Did you tell him that?
No, I didn't tell him that. I
you-
probably should have.
you should've.
You
That's
should have. That's
I'll
great.
tell him. I'll probably tell him after the game
Hey,
today.
Cadillac Kenny. I love
Got to
it.
interview him again, I guess.
You did such a great job the last time. Might as well, you know.
You should check that out on our YouTube page at Solano College Sports Network, as well as Facebook, Solano College Sports Network, to see Chris's interview. First one he's ever done with Kenny Quilliton.
You could not tell.
Couldn't
This is-
even tell.
Yeah,
Such a
thanks,
pro.
guys. I
Yep.
appreciate the support.
You were just thrown in the fire. You didn't even know you were doing the interview, and there you go. You did great.
Didn't know until after the game.
Hey, Chris, can you go interview someone? And you can't say no. That's not even a question, actually. Just, hey, go.
Fastball outside.
Yes, more. Chris, you're going to do the interview. Then, Chris, can't you do an interview?
It wasn't a question. It was
Yeah.
being told.
But hey, you survived.
Three 3-0 to LeBeau.
Just rhymed.
Fastball up. That'll load the bases for the top of the order in Willie Hamza.
So not only are you a broadcaster, you're a reporter, and
Now
now you're a
batting
rapper.
shortstop,
So I'm very
Willie
impressed with
Hamza.
you. Just want to put that out there.
Thanks, so I truly appreciate that.
You're welcome.
This Vaglia mixtape coming soon.
It's the I
CZ.
Love the Yankees. That's the
Yeah.
cover of the mixtape.
Don't judge me.
That's a good one. Wow. Brian, we might have thought of
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you guys later. That was amazing.
Can I executive produce?
Hamza takes a fastball in the dirt. Pops it up. Room for Lash, unable to make the play.
You
Looks
know,
like he got confused with Selma over there at third. A little miscommunication.
that was a great effort, though. He did make like contact with the ball, but he just, probably overran it a little bit and just didn't come up with it. But his beautiful blonde hair was just showing in the wind. So A for effort.
Hamza gets second life here.
I mean, there's 2 outs. You're down by 4 in this situation. What do you think? Hamza's.
Tate Soderstrom leads it off for the Puff Caps.
Led off the last half inning with a single, and he came around to score on that Steven Rivas double.
1 of 3 to plate in the top of the second for the Puff Caps. He takes a fastball inside, which looking to have his first 1-2-3 inning. Hopefully his defense able to help him out this time around. Soderstrom fouls it. Looked like a changeup off the end of the bat.
Yeah, I'd like to see that from Wooch to change speeds. We've seen him get some hitters to swing early, but they've fallen. Obviously, 4 little bloop hits here and there. Obviously don't like to see that, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't stay away from that strategy.
And especially with stuff like that happening, you got to stick with your stuff. You can't take that as a negative. I saw Soderstrom fouls it behind the booth here for 1-2.
There's a defensive change for the Rock Hounds. Kyle Krebs moves over to first. Nate Gutierrez moves from first to right, so just swapping places.
Probably had something to do with that play in right field that extended that second inning to allow those 3 runs to score.
Yeah, I would say you'd be correct on that one. As Coach Stover mentioned that with your interview, Saad.
Yeah. Like he said, the more defensive errors that are out there makes the pitcher work more, and it looks crooked for the pitcher. He gives up 5 runs, but how did he give it up? And it's, defense.
Soderstrom fouls it left side. Under it is Page for the first out of the inning.
And his gloves stay together, so.
I know. I think he's really happy about that.
See a little smile over there from Page. It's like his teammates might have given him a little joke there.
Yeah. There's some funny guys over in that Rockhound dugout.
Always see the dugout smiling. That's for sure.
When he went to exchange his glove, Coach Bobby goes up to Margiotta and he goes, that's why they call it the hot corner, with like the biggest smile on his face, like he just made the best joke of 2017. Then naturally, no one laughed.
I ain't gonna do that to Bobby.
Exactly.
That was a good one.
Great guy. Always has a smile on his face.
Always.
As Poff always tells us, was a heck of a running back for Solano.
Did not know that until Poff mentioned that, as Lash hits that in there to left field in front of Facenda for a base hit.
Another opposite field hit for the Puff Caps. Like to see that from an offense to stay disciplined, just go where the ball is location-wise and not try to top over it to get a ground out. Instead, go with the pitch location and just bloop it into shallow left center.
And you see a lot of, especially nowadays, kids wanting to, pull the ball, hit that monstrous home run, and roll over on everything. As Stevenson takes a first pitch fastball in there for a strike. You don't see too much of that power, to the opposite field. The fact that the Puff Caps are able to do that, and it looks like it's part of their game to have that opposite field approach, is really key.
And that's just props to the coaching staff too, for teaching them, how to go the opposite way, how to stay back and all that stuff. Because when you're growing up right now and you're watching MLB Network and stuff, you hear a lot of big leaguers just saying, kind of giving them, you hit a home run, that kind of joke. But kids, they look up to these guys, so it's great to see them, as he fouls that off. Great to see them, stay balanced and going the opposite way.
And not only just the home run happy approach, but the pull approach is the whole discussion about defensive shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way to beat a shift, is to have an inside-out approach. So it's good to see these Puff Caps have a well-rounded approach.
Stevenson just able to get a piece of that off of Frazier's glove there.
Brian, are you a fan of the overshift that you see like in the big leagues and stuff like that? Where
Yeah.
you like that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you cannot hit the ball to the opposite field and you keep pulling on the ball, why is it my fault that I put all my defenders where you hit the ball?
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Especially with the scouting reports and everything like nowadays. I mean, as Stevenson fouls that off left side out of play, it's really hard to get past all that. I mean, I think the overshift and everything like that is great. Because, I mean, it finds out. It's all logistics, all numbers, percentages and where he hits, how much he hits to right field, how often he hits to the left, center and everything, his spray chart. And if you see that, study that before the game. Obviously, you can't do that in, summer baseball. But at the, higher levels, you're able to do that, which is another key part of the game.
I think I'm just bitter about it because they always overshift Brandon Belt, and he always makes a crucial out. So I'm just sensitive about it.
Yeah.
But everything you guys said is true. Like, Brian, what you said about, if you can't pull it, it's not my fault that I'm putting my guys in that position.
Yeah. And I always like it when they beat the shift, too,
Yeah.
as a fan.
Stevenson able to get that down. Looked like right on the line for a double for Stevenson. That'll move Lash over to third, second and third
Steven Rivas.
for leadoff hitter Steven Rivas.
Yeah, back to the shift conversation. I always find it entertaining because it's a game of one-upsmanship, right? Because the shift is like, oh, I got you. I know your tendencies. And then when the guy beats the shift, it's like, see? Shouldn't have overthought things.
I love seeing a bunt.
Yeah.
And I love seeing a bunt.
Rivas takes a first pitch fastball just in on the hands, 1-0.
But there's a new rule that came into play this season for the bigs. That is that if you're overshifting and you're playing quote unquote new position, you have to use that position's glove. I believe like Anthony Rizzo was overshifting somewhere and he had a first baseman's glove. And I don't know what the other manager, if it was Nats or whoever, said, hey, you're not allowed to do that. So they made him switch the glove. And, it's a comfort factor too because you're not used to that glove. It's just stuff like that.
Honestly, having a smaller glove might benefit his defensive fielding because it's so big. But yeah, I get the premise behind
Rivas
that.
drives that into center, just out of the reach for Smith. That'll bring in two for Rivas's second double on the day and 2 RBIs right there. That'll bring it 7-1 Puff Caps.
Yeah, those 2 RBIs, in addition to the one from his last double, brings him to 3 of the 7 runs being driven in by the leadoff hitter, Steven Rivas. Speaking of RBIs, Rivas had an 11 RBI game in high school.
11.
11.
You can't make those things up,
Yeah.
honestly.
Just shows the potent.
Exactly. Absolutely amazing how much talent this Puff Cap team has. As Selma takes a fastball in there for a strike.
Their jerseys are really cool too with the finger
logo
that they have.
I like that.
I'm not sure what it's supposed to mean though. Like
They're chilling.
Puff Caps.
As
Or
the ball,
that.
As the ball gets away from Frazier, that'll move Rivas over to third, still with 1 out.
Pacific Union Financial, yeah.
Brian, you're having too much fun right now.
Yeah,
You gotta have fun with it.
Second color person. There's not much to do.
Selma drives that into left field. Under is Facenda. Tagging is Rivas. Able to come in on the sac fly from Selma to extend the lead 8-1.
And there, Facenda just kind of took like a little crow hop back, and that just kind of killed all momentum for a strong throw into the cutoff. But I think even if he had all his momentum going forward, Rivas' speed probably would have scored anyway.
Good speed over there at third base from Rivas. And great piece of hitting right there from Selma. Look for something up in the zone. Able to drive it. Go with the ball to left field. As Cruz flies that into center. Under is Smith to end the inning. So, Puff Caps able to plate 3 once again. Rock Hounds looking to chip away. I'll bring up Page, Smith, and Gutierrez.
Hi, this is Kyle Krebs. Thanks for watching the Solano College Sports Network. Hi, this is Kyle Krebs. Thanks for watching.
as third baseman Daniel Page leads it off for the Rock Hounds, bottom half of the third.
Page flew out his first at bat to center fielder Steven Rivas.
Fouls it back. 0-1. Lamb shakes off Lash. Still shaking him off. Steps off.
Yeah,
Not on the same page.
Yeah, something that's not to Daniel Page. Yeah, there you go.
Wow, another one, Brian. You're on a roll today.
Oh, I'm
There you
always.
go.
Oh my gosh.
Thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
This Lamb does look like a slider, sweeping slider for a ball.
As Daniel Page is in the box. No? Okay.
Wait, say that again?
No. I don't want to.
Page fouls it
He's just trying
behind
to.
us.
There's a box that the batters stand in, thinking outside of the box.
I caught on to that,
Seeing
Brian.
it.
I just didn't want
Now
to say
Page is
it.
out of the box, and now he's in the box.
All right, I'm gonna ignore that
I
and
get it.
say he was just trying to turn the page on,
Yeah.
the
Ooh,
last at bat. And
I like that.
Damn, Daniel.
Wow, we're just on a roll today in the
you know,
broadcast booth.
usually Chris and I do player comps. I think with Brian, Chris and I, we do player puns.
Yeah.
Page takes a low inside fastball just off the plate, it looked like.
And this is the same situation he found himself against Gutierrez in the last half inning, and Gutierrez walked, and he came around to score. So this is an important pitch for Lamb.
Page able to work the walk against Lamb. Lamb showing a little frustration up there on the mound.
Now batting.
Yeah,
center
he's had a
fielder,
frustrating
Max
afternoon. We've
Stick.
talked about the couple stops to his motion. That's definitely aggravating. He has, thankfully, a nice 7-run cushion to work with, but you never like to walk a leadoff batter. They just always come back to haunt you.
Walks are never good, and especially working. I believe he's had, I think, 4 hitters of the Rock Hounds work it to that 3-2 count.
Yeah, I think that was the 4th time.
You know, when someone calls timeout, it does disrupt the pitching, mechanics, of course, but also as he throws to first, but he's safe. It messes with your mind too. Mentally, you're mad. You're just like, why does he keep calling timeout? You're frustrated. You're not really thinking about the pitch. You're just like, okay, now I have to come back and set again and do this and this and this. So you overthink it.
Smith grounds it over to Cruz, on to Williams, over to Bruiser for the 4-6-3 double play.
And that is what you call a rally killer.
Now batting.
Especially when
first
you
baseman,
get a
Nathan
free base with a
Gutierrez.
walk, and then there's a double play happens, just a punch in the gut.
Looks like there's some activity in the Rockhound bullpen. A lefty is warming up. It looks like Allen. I think also from Marin, if I'm not mistaken.
I want to say, too, Gutierrez swings and misses. Gutierrez walked his first time up, scoring the lone run of the Rock Hounds today. A sweeping breaking ball in the dirt.
Yeah, you definitely see why Lamb is going to USC with the amount of good pitches he has.
Off the fist, able to drop in for a base hit. Nice stop in center field from Rivas. Able to keep it in front of him to keep Gutierrez from moving on over to second.
Just right off the bat, as soon as he started running, his half flew off and just didn't let the ball go past him, which is a great play. So
catcher,
Gutierrez just
Brant
stays at
Frazier.
first.
Yeah, it's easy to kind of become complacent in a 8-1 ball game too.
Especially if you're in the outfield, you're just like, looking around, whatever, and then a ball's hit to you, and you kind of pause for a moment. He didn't pause at all. Right off the bat, he was running.
Yeah, you like to see that. That kind of hustle is just kind of built into the DNA of a player. It's not really something you teach.
It's like Vinny Margiotta always running on every out, every anything. If it's a little dribbler to the third baseman and he knows it's going to be like a quick out, he hustles down the line. And you love seeing that in players. You love seeing 100% instead of the occasional 60, 65,
1-1.
Yeah, to Brant Frazier, who struck out his first at bat, as you saw in the graphic there.
Frazier hits on over to Williams. To Cruz to end the inning. Puff Caps will have Cruz, Bruiser, and Fresno.
I'm Kenny LeBeau. Thank you for watching Solano College Sports Network.
Welcome back as Nick Bruiser steps in for the Puff Caps. Takes a fastball in there from relief pitcher Chris Allen.
Chris has 4.67 innings under his belt, in that he has a 5.79 ERA. You know, not good, but again, you know, it's a little high because of the not that many innings pitched, and he has only 7 Ks to 1 walk, so, you know, that's great, of course. Only 1 walk to 7 Ks.
It's Bruiser. Grounds on over to Page. Over to Krebs for the first out of the inning.
And so, you know, he is a strikeout machine.
He managed to retire Bruiser for the first time, who came into that bat 2 for 2, 2 RBI.
So that'll bring up Zach Fresno.
One for 2 with a double and an RBI in his prior at-bats.
Fouls it back into the netting in front of us 0-1.
Fresno was the lucky beneficiary of Page's glove breaking on that one odd play. He also doubled home Bruiser, so 1 for 2.
You know, some might say that was a so odd play.
I don't know about that one. So
Okay, so I'm just gonna sit here.
good,
and think
good try
about that
though.
one.
As he hits it to left field on the hanging slider, just foul. Still 0-2. Allen left the breaking ball up. Luckily, Fresno fouled it.
Yeah, hopefully he faces some lefties with that breaking ball, because A righty could feast if he hangs a breaking ball.
A righty's zone, wheelhouse, I guess you could say, is that low and in, especially on a breaking ball. Anything hung up, they're going to drive that, especially to that short porch right in front of the scoreboard in left field.
And the wind definitely picked up right now. Got a huge burst of wind right now.
And it swirls here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium.
As he swings and misses on, looked like a changeup from Allen.
I mean, like I said, he's just a strikeout machine, so that makes 8 Ks to just 1 walk.
So bring up Drew Williams with 2 out.
First lefty he's going to face.
See if he can get the Rock Hounds their first 1-2-3 inning of the day. As Williams flies it on over to right field. Under it is Gutierrez for the 1-2-3 inning. Allen, great performance thus far. That'll bring up Quilliton, Facenda, and Krebs for the Rock Hounds in the bottom half.
Hi, I'm Scott Stover, General Manager of the Rockville Rock Hounds, and thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
Leading it off for the bottom of the 4th for the Rock Hounds. Number 40, Kenny Quilliton.
Cadillac Kenny. Parked over at third after he singled.
As he fouls it back. 0-1.
At Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium, we have a lot of birds, too. I mean, not as excessive as, maybe AT&T Park in San Francisco with the Seagulls, but there's a lot of birds in the outfield.
As Kenny drives that into left field for a home run right over that short porch in front of the scoreboard in left field. That'll make it an 8-2 ball game. Great piece of hitting from Quilliton right there.
Now Cadillac Kenny can cruise all the way home after... You know what else is in the outfield so odd? And now it's a Kenny Quilliton baseball.
There you go.
Besides the birds, and Quilliton knocks home himself solo.
Left fielder.
Kenny was like, I heard you guys saying I don't run fast, so that was actually a pretty fast trot, I feel like, for Cadillac Kenny.
Yeah. No Adam Rosales, but it's
I think that
but it's not Manny Machado against the Red Sox.
Wow, your Red Sox feelings right now.
Yeah.
They're out.
I know. I had to beat Chris to the homerisms here.
Okay.
I know he hasn't talked about the Yankees or Aaron Judge yet, so I mean it's only the 4th inning. We're still, really early in the game.
Yeah.
I still got a few left in my pocket.
Was that like an Aaron Judge type home run, Chris?
That was a liner. I wouldn't be surprised if that was around 100 miles an hour off the bat of Quilliton. Facenda's down 0-2 against Lamb.
That's the next step in SCSN. We need some stat casts of like launch
That would
angle.
be awesome, to say the least.
Launch angle, launch velocity.
Can we just make it up ourselves? I think that
I know.
it was 110 right off the bat. Leaving the glove, I think it was 82 miles per hour. Launch angle, go, Brian.
Probably. That was a low line drive, so I'd probably say in the mid-20s. Wasn't like a 35.
So it looks like Facenda strikes out swinging. Looks like he got a piece, but
Kyle Krebs
foul tipped in the glove.
Able to make the grab, I guess you could say, or able to hang on his lash for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Kyle Krebs.
Krebs got hit on the tuchus.
You just wanted to bring that up every time.
He did. I'm just saying what he did.
You're right. You're right.
You know?
That's
That's
what a
around,
color
like,
has to
three.
do.
3-4 different names you used.
Well, you know, you gotta vary your vocabulary.
And you're really, you do that really well. So
Yeah, thank you.
you're welcome.
1-1 the count to Krebs.
Plus, how many times does the word tuchus get said in a
Not
broadcast?
as much as it used to.
You know, Yiddish is the lost language.
Really?
And I have to have the chutzpah
Okay.
to bring it back into the modern day vernacular.
Look at you. Krebs tomahawks it, pops it up in front of Bruiser, calls off Lamb for the second out of the inning.
Krebs is like, oy vey, should have.
He
Sit on top of that
tomahawked
one,
that
yeah.
one. That was, I've never seen that.
Now batting.
I like the,
Kenny LeBeau.
since Bruiser made the out, I like his look right now. The stirrups with the one sleeve on his throwing arm is just very baseball-y.
And I was watching between innings. He had the Padres uniform on during his home run derby. What do you think of those old throwback Padres?
Oh my God,
Bro, fouls it in front of us. So scared.
I'm not prepared for these. They just.
You do know that we have netting in front of us,
You
right?
do understand that I'm looking at Brian as he's asking me the question, and then I look and there's a ball. Anyway, I love the throwback uniforms. I think they're really clean as he fouls that back. 0-2 the count. The Padres All-Star game last year was beautiful. I love the jerseys. Everyone didn't like his poop brown and pea yellow. Beautiful. I don't care.
Wow.
And I also love the Astros throwback, the rainbow. And to just top it off, the Cardinals powder blue throwback uniforms. So that's the Giants don't have any throwbacks. They're kind of lame. Their throwbacks
Very
are
lame.
just like, Yankees don't have throwbacks besides just like thinner pinstripes.
No, those are the two original, I guess you could say.
I mean, the Giants were in New
Logos.
York before the Yankees, so you got to respect that.
As LeBeau does a little window shopping, that'll end the inning for the Rock Hounds. Lamb able to catch him looking on that backdoor curveball. That'll bring up Soderstrom, Lash, and Stevenson.
Hi, I'm Coach Bobby. Thanks for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as Tate Soderstrom
Left fielder Tate Soderstrom.
leads it off for the Puff Caps.
Soderstrom 1 for 2 with a run scored.
As he fouls it behind the Rockville dugout. 0-1.
He popped out into foul territory his last at bat to Daniel Page. Also singled to start that big 3-run second inning as well.
Allen throws a breaking ball up in the zone for a ball.
I like to call myself pitcher bias, especially left-handed pitcher bias. There's something about left-handed pitchers as
He
he.
hits it on over in front of Krebs. Krebs able to field it in fair territory. Steps on the base for the first out.
But I just like the way that lefties finish. I like the funkiness that usually comes from a lefty. It's like left-handed hitters too. I just like they have, you know, they're known for the most prettiest swing, you know, Ken Griffey type swing. So I don't know, there's something about lefties that I like.
Lash takes a fastball in the dirt.
So I love these last two at bats as a couple lefty-lefty matchups.
Yes, I do actually. I like to see the way that a hitter changes his approach when there's a lefty-lefty matchup or righty-righty matchup. You know, I like to see, you know, his mind game change.
Yeah, in that lefty-lefty matchup, as a hitter, you really have to make sure you keep that front shoulder in, because a lot of times they tend to pull off. As Lash takes a fastball low, set up a 3-1 count, and you know, yeah, like I said, you know, they pull the front shoulder open and get a nice roll over to, you know, first or second base. So that's really what's key. As Lash pops it up over to Hamza. Hamza under it for the second out.
Did a little of the pop-up dance, but the wind, not that big of a pop-up dance since the wind kind of died down since that big burst we got in the inning earlier.
You know, back to Chris's point about the shoulder thing, I think I've heard it from Brandon Crawford, but some lefties like to face a lefty now and then when they're in a funk because it lets them reset their mechanics and have to really keep that shoulder in, and that fixes the problems that they're having when they're facing a right-handed pitcher.
And there's a lot of left-handed hitters they just dominate or left-handed pitchers, like Anthony Rizzo, like I mentioned earlier, absolutely kills the left-handed pitchers. You know, just because it's lefty-righty doesn't mean you're bound for a hit.
Exactly. And I believe he had a slump earlier in the season. He was like 0 for his last 22. Stevenson fouls it just to the right, or excuse me, the left of Krebs in foul territory. Earlier in the season, I believe he was 0-22 in his last plate appearances, and he ended up breaking his streak against the lefty. You know, just resetting, like you guys said, like resetting those mechanics. Ended up, I think, having like a 2-for-4, 3-for-4 type of game. So
yeah, like Justin Bohr of the Miami Marlins, who's in the home run derby. He is left-handed, and he actually hit his first home run against a lefty. So
Stevenson right back to Allen for another 1-2-3 inning. How about that? That'll set up top of the order for the Rock Hounds in the bottom half. Hamza, Page, Smith.
This is Jack Friday. Thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
Willie Hamza.
Welcome back as Willie Hamza leads it off for the Rock Hounds.
We have a new pitcher, Aiden Gojkovic, going to Cal Poly next year.
as Hamza hits that in the left center. Under is Soderstrom for the first out.
And so the new pitcher is the 63rd ranked right-handed pitcher in the class of 2017 in the state of California. He is the 491st right-handed pitcher in the nation, 3.5 GPA. Like I said, going to Cal Poly out of Gilroy, California. Went to Archbishop Mitty.
Daniel Page step in, takes the first pitch fastball in there. Page pops it right side. Under is Bruiser. Able to shade the sun for the second out.
Now batting center fielder.
You know, to start a
Max
rally,
Smith.
you kind of need to take more pitches and, you know, see more in the at bat instead of just taking the first two and popping it up or grounding out, stuff like that. I mean, I know when you see your pitch, you swing, you take it, but when you're down by however much you're down, 6, 10, 11, whatever it is, you kind of have to be mindful of the outs that are left and take advantage of a new pitcher kind of thing.
Smith takes a ball, set it up 1-1.
Overthrew
Flash,
that.
overthrew Gojkovic.
You know, just keeping your middle infielder, making sure
keep
they're
him
not
in the
asleep.
game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He totally meant to do that, of course.
Oh, yeah.
You have to. I'm sure you got a sign from the coach saying overthrow, see if anyone's on top of it. Smith takes a fastball up.
Oh, he was just letting everyone know that he has an arm, so don't run on him kind of thing.
The 2-1. Smith right over to Williams to end the inning. For a nice 1-2-3 inning for Gojkovic. That'll bring it at the top of the order for the Puff Caps. Rivas, Selma, Cruz. We'll be back.
I'm Daniel Page, and thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
As the top of the order for the Puff Caps will come up as Steven Rivas steps in 3 for 3 on the day. He's got 2 RBIs, 2 doubles, and a single to add to his line. Takes a curveball inside.
Yeah, he also has 2 runs scored. Could have been 3, but he got thrown out by Evan Facenda trying to advance from first to third in the top of the first.
See, broken bat, pops it up to Hamza. Able to make the play for the first out. First base coach had to wake up a little there.
Yeah.
It's always scary to see, you know, shards flying at you, even if it's not even going near you. It's just 1 second you're, you know, throwing a pitch, and the next you look up and there's shards of wooden bat just going everywhere. And it's scary for the home plate umpire and catcher too, since they're right in the middle of it.
Soma able to get a piece of it for strike number 1. Very lefty heavy lineup, and I'm sure that's why Silver ended up going to the lefty and Allen.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Gutierrez out and right could be another potential bullpen move, as he is another left-handed arm that the Rockhounds feature. Plus, yeah, coming in, there's only one switch hitter in Trey Cruz, the 3-hole hitter, so, you know, There's a lot of true lefties out there.
Soma grounds it over to Krebs. Krebs able to make the play on over to Allen for the second out. Nice play over there by Krebs.
Yeah, really looked in that ball into the glove. For a guy who's not naturally a first baseman, he came to Solano as a catcher. We've seen him as a corner outfielder and as a pitcher because of need, but we haven't seen him at first, but that was a good play by Krebs.
A switch hitter Cruz steps in, drives the liner into center field, under to Smith for another, yet again, 1-2-3 inning for Chris Allen. That'll set up Gutierrez, Frazier, and Quilliton for the Rock Hounds.
This is Max Smith. Thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
Welcome back.
Nathan Gutierrez.
As right fielder Nathan Gutierrez steps in.
Here, you get a look at, not the biggest crowd here this afternoon, but we're having fun this summer.
Takes a fastball up. Not as many as we usually see. Usually, it's a decent crowd.
Oh, here's a fun fact about Nate that I literally just thought of right now. As he
Fouls
fouls
it back.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
No,
No. I'm genuine.
junior year, I played softball with his current girlfriend, Valerie, and I told him, hey, you go with Valerie, right? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I play softball with her. And he was like, oh, that's cool. And, yeah, just wanted to throw it out there. So, baseball player, softball player, of course.
Flies on over to Soderstrom. Able to make the play for the first out. Bring up Brant Frazier.
Told you guys it was a fun fact.
Super fun. So much enjoyment.
Now batting
Thanks,
catcher.
Brian.
Yeah, you're welcome. Frazier's 0 for 2, struck out. Also grounded to 6-4, fielder's choice.
Frazier fouls it behind the Rock Hounds dugout. Boyovich able to get ahead once again, 0-1.
Both relief pitchers have done stellar since they've come into the ballgame.
Frazier hits it on over to right field. In front of Stevenson for a base hit.
I'll give myself credit for that broadcaster's jinx on behalf of the Rock Hounds. As soon as you give credit to both guys, give up a hit.
Yeah, that was a beautiful opposite field single
Now
right there.
batting DH. Kenny
Adding to
Bohan.
the,
Nah, it was all the broadcaster's jinx.
You're right. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just.
Why give credit to the guy who actually did something?
You're right.
Yeah,
You did everything. I think
Yeah.
he heard you say it, and he was like, "I have to impress Brian."
I know
So
exactly what happened.
I believe you.
Way to go, Brant. Way to prove me wrong.
Who do we have up here?
As Cadillac Kenny steps in. Free swinger of the Rock Hounds.
You know what? You can't get mad at that name, even though it's supposed to be like, you're not a fast runner. Cadillac Kenny.
It's got a ring.
Just a mellow kind of guy
Not
and can play baseball, that's for sure. As he swings and misses, looks like Gojkovic took a little off of there. Evens up the count.
Are there fuzzy dice in the Cadillac?
I like that, Brian.
I'm thinking of the Hawaiian girl, though. That's, on the dashboard.
Yeah, it's just that aesthetic, man.
It's Gojkovic sets. Curveball in there to Quilliton. Quilliton looked a little puzzled up there.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen that breaking ball from Gojkovic so far, so that definitely caught Kenny by surprise. Yeah.
Break to that curveball. It sets up a 1-2 count to Quilliton. See what Gojkovic throws here. The pitch. Swing and a miss from Kenny.
Yeah, slow down the eye of Quilliton with that slow breaking ball, then go right back with the hard stuff.
Great.
Really hard to catch up.
Great pitching sequence right there from Gojkovic. Like you said, kind of messed up Kenny's head right there, had him looking up and was late on that fastball up in the zone. That'll bring up Facenda as he swings and misses again on that fastball up in the zone, 0-1.
Facenda has a sac fly and an RBI. He also struck out, so 0 for 1 with that run produced.
One and one. Looking to extend the inning for the Rock Hounds. On deck is first baseman Kyle Krebs. As Facenda gets hit.
That's not a fun place to get hit.
Looked like he got hit right in the left shoulder blade.
He does have that
First baseman, Kyle Krebs.
arm protector. Not sure if they caught any of it.
There's always that talk that no matter if you have an arm protector, you have the shin guard or anything like that, or if you have a cup, what does it do really?
It never
it's just
hits
another
it.
layer. Even if it does hit it, it's just another layer. You still feel the sting. So
I actually did hear, though, I forgot who they interviewed, but I think it was some major league player. They don't really feel that. Honestly, the elbow guards are that, protected and padded that they don't really see it. And I don't know if you guys watched I think it was the Padres and Dodgers game as Krebs takes the first pitch fastball in there. I think Turner had a 3-0 count or something like that, and the pitcher of the Padres threw it in a curveball. It was a front door, so it was coming at him, and looked like it was going to hit the inside part of the plate as Krebs fouls it back 0-2. And Turner kind of stuck his elbow out there just because he had that padding.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's another, thing that comes into question is the whole, elbow pad. He wouldn't have done that if he wasn't wearing it, kind of dilemma. Krebs takes that sweeping curveball from Gojkovic.
Well, somebody who's not going to do that is Kyle Krebs because he's got no batting gloves, got no protection of any kind.
I respect
school.
that, the no batting gloves. When I see someone with no batting gloves, it's just, like I said, the left-handed pitchers in general, and then no batting gloves, stirrups, those are the things that I like.
That just is so painful to me. Whenever I look at no batting gloves, I just PTSD to just.
I like Will.
Gotta have those on.
Yeah.
I like how Will Myers has that tape on every finger, and I don't know, it just looks cooler to me. Look-wise, I think it looks cooler.
Deuce is wild. Pitch from Gojkovic. Low and inside. That'll set up 3-2. Runners will go.
That was indeed a deuces wild because it's 2. Deuce.
Krebs calls time. Maybe throw off Gojkovic a little up there on the mound. Maybe throw him out of his rhythm.
At least he wasn't about to release the ball like Lamb in the second inning.
That was really unfortunate for Lamb.
Yeah.
He showed a lot of frustration just because it looked like he was in a rhythm.
And rightfully so. Call timeout. He's already throwing
The pitch. Krebs on over to Williams. To Bruiser. High throw, but Bruiser able to make the catch. That'll sit down the Rock Hounds. That'll have Bruiser, Presno, Williams for the Puff Caps.
Logan Finley, and thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
Welcome back as Nick Bruiser, first baseman of the Puff Caps, leads it off in the top half of the 7th.
Bruiser trying to bruise that ball.
I'll give you that one.
Okay.
I'll give you that one.
Brian is not
That was
impressed.
a good one.
Yeah. Bruiser is 2 for 3, 2 RBIs with a single, a double. He's also grounded out. Has 1 run scored.
He fouls it behind his own dugout. Out of play, 1-1. Two and one. Allen looking for his 4th 1-2-3 inning here. So far since he came in the game, absolutely shut down the Puff Caps. It's Bruiser right over Holmes' head for a base hit.
You had to mention
You
it.
had to say something. You're not Brian, okay? You can't.
There goes the broadcaster's
Yeah.
face.
Only
Yeah,
Brian can do it.
Yeah, exactly. You have to carefully put the jinx on, you know? The Rock Hounds, we cover them a lot more, so you want the jinx to go in their favor.
You have to. Come on, Chris. It's
You have to direct the bad luck.
broadcaster's IQ. Come on.
Situational broadcasting. You got to be aware.
Gotta be smarter.
Yeah.
I'll work on that, guys. As Presno steps in, takes a fastball out.
Presno's 1 for 3 with a double and RBI. He also reached on an air and struck out against Allen. Allen's lone strikeout is of Presno.
The pitch from Allen. Fastball hits the bottom of the zone.
This game has been going by quickly. It's already the 7th inning. It feels like the 4th right now. And especially because it's a lopsided game too, you know, for the Caps.
Yeah, just give credit to Allen. He's working pretty quickly. He's gotten 3. He had 3 straight 1-2-3 innings. And then Gojkovic on the other side had 1-2-3 inning followed by just 5 batters for the Rock Hounds. So the last 5 half innings or so have gone by really, really quickly.
And, you know, credit due to these high schoolers. They're facing a college, you know, level team and not backing down at all as he fouls that back. Everyone here is very impressed with them.
Two and two will be the count to Presno. Presno looking to add to the lead the Puff Caps have here in the top of the 7th. Looking to get this game out of hand. The pitch from Allen. Change up away. Full count. You think Bruiser runs here?
It's going to be interesting because it is a 6-run ball game.
I don't think he
But
goes.
situationally, yeah. I would agree with Solid. I would say no. And he takes off.
And there goes Bruiser. Base hit into left field. Is Presno. Bruiser on his way to third. Facenda not able to make the play. Looks like it got away from Presno on his way to third. In there. Oh, no. Looks like he was out. Excuse me.
He is out.
For the misjudgment. It looked like the umpire. It looked like he got in there from our view. But
It's that
umpire,
delayed call.
That late call got me.
Yeah. But, you know, it's unfortunate for the Rock Hounds, you know, for Allen, who had, like you said, all those 1-2-3 innings and, you know, gave up a single, but he was, you know, trying to get those next 2 outs and the inning, get them to hit the next inning. You know, the error by Facenda is just something that can't happen. Especially if you're trying to inch your way back into the game, you're running out of outs. You just can't let stuff like that happen.
So we have a pinch hitter for Drew Williams. It will be Tim Tawa.
Tim Tawa takes a ball near his feet. 1-1.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting on how to score that Presno at bat because clearly Facenda kicked it around a little bit and left. That allowed the runners to advance. So I'm not sure Presno's going to get credit for an RBI.
I give him a as Tawa swings and misses 1 and 2. I'd give him, in my book, I give him a single, reached on second with the error, and was obviously thrown out at third.
Again,
These hubcaps, I swear. The headlines that are associated with these names.
Tawa drives into the left center. Facenda able to make the play this time.
The title of this first article is Oregon's Tim Tawa the top athlete all around in high school sports?
Left fielder.
And this is by Max Preps.
So after the game, I'm just going to go over there and just talk to these guys and see, like, they're high school kids, you know what I mean? Like, it's just impressive all around, especially the aggressiveness that they have, too. They're not waiting around for these pitches. They're hitting it, and they're hitting it well and hard.
So Tawa is a two-sport athlete because this is all about his football numbers. By the way, no offense to Soderstrom right now, but let's just talk about Tawa. 187 for 274, 2,500 yards passing, 37 touchdowns, 1 interception. Good for a 135.4 quarterback rating.
He doesn't look like a QB, to be honest with you, based on his body build, but, I mean, the guy can play.
Honestly, I love seeing the two-way sport athletes, baseball or basketball, baseball, football, whatever it is. I love seeing these people, these kids playing more than one sport. You know, get more athletic because of that, and it benefits you for either sport you're playing. So I like seeing that, and I'd like to see more of that. And I don't really know much about football, but those stats sounded really good.
Very impressive as Soderstrom fouls it back. 1 and 2.
You know, errors also ruin a pitcher's momentum kind of thing, because you know how Allen was just dealing those innings, and then that error happened, and now he has to, you know, he gave up a run. Never mind, he's unaffected at all.
Soderstrom swings and misses on the breaking ball from Allen. Allen gives up a run on the miscue in left field from Facenda. That'll bring up LeBeau, Hamza, and Page for the Rock Hounds in the bottom half.
This is Alex Pham. Thanks for watching the Solana College Sports Network.
Pham? Good. All right, you're all done.
Second baseman, Kenny LeBeau.
Welcome back as number 9 hitter for the Rock Hounds, Kenny LeBeau, steps in.
You know, in between innings, they play music, you know, get us a little hyped. And, you know, Wyatt McCampbell just always dancing out there. Sadly, we could not capture it on camera. I know he's really sad about it since he loves, you know, dancing and everyone's seeing him dance. So hopefully next inning they play another song and he starts dancing, and hopefully someone gets it on camera.
I believe we played one of his blooper videos of him dancing a few broadcasts ago. So LeBeau has a 1-1 count.
LeBeau 0 for 1. He struck out his last at bat, but drew a walk in the second to load the bases.
He drives that right past Cruz over there at second.
Yeah, Cruz didn't look like he got a good read off the bat because it was sharply hit, but it looked like he could have fielded it.
Looked like it took a hop on him last second.
Because his glove was definitely down and it bounced over the glove. So just there's some tricky hops here with the cut of the grass.
Very.
At Billy Louise Yarborough Stadium.
Maybe it might have been a lip it hit. Nonetheless, that'll bring up top of the order and Willie Hamza takes a first pitch fastball in there outside corner 0-1.
Hamza, the switch hitter, yet to reach base.
Takes another fastball in there 0-2. Looks like he didn't agree with the call.
Yeah, his afternoon started pretty rough with that opening strikeout looking on, I believe it was 3 pitches.
Yes.
He also grounded out and flew out.
Not really seeing the ball well today.
Yeah.
Skorkiewicz throws on over to first.
You have those days, but you just have to keep fighting. Yeah, Holmes' ground out too came with the bases loaded. And it was the best chance for the Rock Hounds to really put a big number on as they only have 2 runs across here.
Ooh.
He swings and misses on Gojkovic's dirty sweeping curveball.
That was just beautiful.
The first out of the inning.
Third baseman Daniel Page.
That'll bring up third baseman Daniel Page. Page just popped up to the first baseman, flew out to center, and walked. Takes a fastball inside corner, 0-1. Gojkovic doing a really good job getting ahead of these Rock Hound hitters.
That's what you need to do when you want to keep them off balance.
As he gets hit right in the shoulder. Be the second hit batsman for Gojkovic. That'll set up Page over at first, LeBeau at second for center fielder Max Smith.
Gojkovic not happy with that at all.
As excuse me, we have a pinch hitter for the Rock Hounds. Looks like it's number 6.
Number 6, Mickey Nunez.
Mickey Nunez stepping in for his first AB of the day.
And 10 at bats, he's hitting clean 500. 2 extra base hits.
Fastball up.
Be interesting to see what the defensive alignment is after Nunez comes in. We've obviously seen him predominantly at catcher, but when he came in for media day, he did list about 7 positions he can play, so he could stay in for center field for Nunez, or excuse me, for Smith.
Nice utility guy. He's up in the count 2-0.
Yeah, when he was naming them all, it just reminded me of Kiki Hernandez during the World Baseball Classic when he was like first base, second base, literally every position except catcher, pitcher. But you know what? You need that guy on a team. You need a versatile guy like that, and that's what Minky is.
Skorkiewicz finally found the zone. Gets it to 2-1.
And I love his name, Mickey. I don't know. I like players with like cool names like that. You know, you got the Dansby Swansons, I'm blanking, but there's other cool names out there.
Just Dansby.
Just Dansby, there you go.
As he hits it left side. Bermuda Triangle over there. For a fair ball, that drops in for a hit.
Obviously, it's tough as a base runner to get a read on that ball as it kind of drifted back into fair territory. So LeBeau only advances the 90 feet, but the bases are loaded.
Well, it doesn't help that the umpires didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Because, you know, obviously for a runner, your eye's on the ball, and the fact that the umpires didn't say a word kind of messes with your head as a base runner.
And so it looks like the Puff Caps manager, Mike Zarelli, going to have a word with the home plate umpire. So I think that the defensive alignment will be Nunez will be at catcher because it looks like on deck is Dominic Fossalina.
Nate Gutierrez steps in with the bases loaded. 1-0.
Gutierrez has had a nice afternoon. 1 for 2, single, walk. Scored one of the 2 runs.
Let's get a mound visit.
Yeah, there is activity in the Puff Cap bullpen. Looks like a righty.
You think they're talking about the certain at bat, or are they changing everything up?
I think he's just telling them up there on the mound. Just keeps cool. They're up 9-2. They have a really very comfortable lead against the Rock Hounds. He's been pitching pretty well thus far. Had that miscue in left field that happened to drop. Had the hit by pitch, so he's just a matter of him working out of this jam.
Yeah, and with bullpen activity, that also could be just a stall tactic of, hey, I want to get my bullpen arm a couple extra pitches in without
giving up any damage.
Yeah, exactly.
As Gojkovic is ready. The 1-0. 2-0. Just missed on the outside part of the plate.
Yeah, he wanted that one. It's 2-0 versus 1-1. It's a dangerous hitter like Gutierrez. Gutierrez went deep against Auburn in the last broadcast we had.
As he hits that on over to right field. Stevenson under it. Tagging is LeBeau. Here's the play at the plate. Able to get him for the inning-ending double play.
Jeez, one
Great
arm.
throw from Stevenson out there in right field. LeBeau looked like he hesitated just at first, and that might have cost him.
Yep.
How about that?
I'm still speechless.
Top
Hi,
of the
this is
8th
Kyle
with Tyler
Krebs.
Lash,
Thanks for watching
Cody
the
Stevenson,
Solana
who
College
just made
Sports
that great
Network.
play, and Steven Rivas.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we have a 28, Tyler Lash, stepping in.
You were talking about looks earlier with stirrups, batting gloves. That the way he wears his pants is kind of weird to me. You know, he kind of wanted to go high socks, then last minute was like, no, I'm just gonna go low.
Kind of looks like a genie.
Yeah, he with the way his pants are, he looks short and stubby legs. It
There
really
you go.
emphasizes the short and stubby legs. As
There you
Allen
go,
throws
Paul.
first pitch fastball, just missed.
Maybe it's a deke. He's just trying to think of, you know, hey, I can't run fast, or hey, I don't have power.
Maybe he's just going to hammer dance all the way to first base if he takes a walk.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I mean, I don't think the Rock Hounds would like that very much, but I would.
But he has a attire for it, so
Yeah.
it'd be appropriate.
Why not? As he hits it right past on LeBeau at second.
You know, Kenny
for a
LeBeau
single.
can't touch this.
Brian, you are just on a roll today.
Thank you.
And I hope everyone watching realizes that
And
as well.
appreciates
They appreciate
it.
it, yeah.
You're just amazing. Have I told you that lately? That you're just an amazing person over.
Yeah, I think during the Brant Frazier, I think you told me that, and that was true then and it's true now. So.
Stevenson steps in again through the 3-4 hole for another base hit. That'll set up first and second. Still no out.
They're not waiting for anything. They see their pitch, they're gonna attack, and it's the 8th inning. They're up by so much. That's not stopping them. And you know what? Credit for them. If no matter how much you're up, that doesn't mean you stop being aggressive. And they showed that, and they're showing that.
And even though Allen has given up a run, this is really the most stressful inning he's had because he had 1, 2, 3 innings, and with Fresno there was a fielding mistake that wiped out the base runner.
Is Allen able to finally start someone off with the first pitch strike 0-1?
And then he got back-to-back batters out, so he really didn't have too much of a stressful inning last half inning, even though he gave up the 1 run. But here, 2 on, nobody out. By far the most stress for Allen.
Rivas shows bunt, pops it up, falls down. Looks like Nunez was thinking about letting it go foul, but sunk in the grass. Picked it up last minute, and Rivas reaches on the infield single.
It looked like even if you just let the ball go, it would have stayed fair regardless. So just throwing it to Krebs at first didn't really make a difference. It was just a throw.
Yeah, once the pop-up landed and it wasn't fielded, that was going to be a difficult play for Nunez to make, especially with the speed of Rivas.
That was just an example of, not having that IQ as ground ball to LeBeau only gets to 1 out.
No.
Excuse me. Allen not able to get over there, and it looks like Krebs was going over to make the play. Couldn't get back to the bag. Still no out.
Second baseman, Trey Cruz.
Yeah, that was just Kyle Krebs' inexperience over at first showing where you don't know where your other guys are positioned because the second baseman clearly had that ball, so him charging for it put him out of position defensively. And so that take by Trey Cruz, who's batting right-handed for the second time. The first time Puff Cap has taken a pitch in a while, as Stevenson, Rivas, and Selma were all first pitch hacking.
Check swing foul. Gets him to 0-2. Allen looking to put him away for the first out of the inning. Again, defensive miscues from this Rockhound team really playing a dividend in this game. 1-2. Might have been a setup pitch right there.
And it's kind of, it's basic to say, you win baseball because of defense. Defense is key, all that stuff. But it literally is. You have to have crisp defense. You can't have little mental errors. You can't have, what Krebs happened. I get it. He's inexperienced. He doesn't play first normally or ever, honestly. But still, it's just stuff like that. Keep the inning going. Keeps the pitcher, Allen in this case, going. And stress. It just adds on more stress. And it adds more stress for the defense.
As Cruz drops that in front of new center fielder Dominic Fossolina. That'll plate Stevenson to extend the lead 11-2.
So that's the first hit for Cruz out of the 3-hole. Had entered that at bat 0 for 3 with a walk.
We have a pinch hitter for Nick Bruiser and Brendan Beck. Beck, 6'2", 195. Utility player. Also pitches. On his way to Stanford as he takes a first pitch out of the zone.
Yeah, well, it looks like one of 4 Puff Caps to commit to Stanford next year.
This is honestly just so impressive. He's naming, us naming all the colleges they're committed to. You got Berkeley, Stanford, University of California. It's crazy. And it's just, good for them. They work hard, with school, with grades and baseball or sports in general. It's just, that's what happens. You have to grind it out, and then you get scholarships like that. You get accepted to these Ivy League schools. Everything well deserved for these guys.
So he is the 15th ranked middle infielder in the California State rankings of the class of 2017.
It will stay alive right there. Still 1-2.
60th overall in California, and he's the 67th ranked middle infielder in the nation.
I just feel like you're making these up at this point.
Nope. Perfectgame.org.
This is just crazy.
The 1-2 from Allen. 2-2.
And all these guys are 18, so that's the scary part.
The fact that they're playing to this ability already, and they're built, you know, like college athletes already, kind of says something. As ball just gets away from Nunez, but
I'm sure if you
able to get it.
If you go to someone that's just walking outside and you bring them here, hey, what are you watching here? I'm just watching college baseball. You know, these are both college teams. You know, that they probably all go to. They've been in college for 2 years. And no, they're 18. They're still kids.
Might see a couple of these young men in the College World Series next year. As Allen delivers a walk to Beck. So I'll bring in a run. 12-2. Puff Caps.
You know, this inning hasn't gone for Allen nor the Rock Hounds in general, but as Stover comes out to the mound, he, in a way, he shouldn't hold his head down. You know, even if no outs right now, it's 12-2, down by 10. He just had such a dominant, you know, first 3 innings that he came in, and then the error. But then this inning just ate him up. But you know what? He's been the horse this whole game. Just this one inning just ate him up.
And that's sometimes the downfall of being so precise so early and getting so many people out in a row, is that you don't get the feel of the stretch early on. And so really he only had one at bat where he was in the stretch in the last 4 innings. And that was the Presno at bat, and Presno's up right now. Other than that, the 4th 1-2-3, 5th 1-2-3, 6th 1-2-3, and he was in the stretch for 1 of the 4 at bats last half inning. But here, every single at bat after Lash reached on the single, he's been in the stretch, and that's hard for a pitcher.
You just have to adapt to it, and he's not adapting right now. But like you said, it's because he's just it's crazy to say, because he was so dominant in the 4th, 5th, and 6th, that it could possibly be that's the reason why he's struggling right now.
Nice pick over there at Page at third base. Throws it on over to home. Able to get the double play. Great heads-up ball.
That was a beautiful pick by Page. Keep, ball first, then play, and then knowing the situation he was in, Manny Machado-esque in his rookie year. Just, I don't know. I really appreciate plays like that. Didn't try to do too much either. He knew the play was in front of him. He didn't have to be extra. Just threw over to Mickey. Mickey threw back and got the out.
Great heads-up play. It looks like Selma didn't get a good read and thought he caught it, and then realized he didn't.
If he was booking it as soon as contact was made, he would have scored. But because he kind of hesitated, because he didn't know if he caught it on the short hop or if he caught it in the air clean, he was kind of indecisive, and that allowed Page to get him in that pickle for the 5-2-5 putout.
As Page fields it. On over to Krebs. Overthrows him. Nice airmail. That'll score 1. Here comes the second. That'll play 2, and now the lead extends to 14-2. Puff Caps.
It's just crazy how we were just giving him, so much credit for that amazing pick, which rightfully so. And then literally the next play is to him. He does a little too much in this play, overthrows Krebs at first and plates 2 runners. And again, it's just mental errors like that. He had time. He didn't need to rush it the way that he did. It's just, I feel he was under pressure. He's trying to limit the damage as is and just simply overthrew.
I think we have a new hitter, Brett Borgano.
As he takes a first pitch slider for a strike. Going to Fullerton. How about that Fullerton team, too? Nice run in the College World Series. Just missed championship. Tough matchup they had. I believe it was against Oregon State. And Oregon State, number 1 in the country, ended up losing to LSU. And who would have thought? I think the Beavers were on a 20-something game winning streak and then ended up losing to LSU.
So Borgogno is the 14th ranked shortstop in the class of 2017 in California, 59th overall prospect, 3.61 GPA. Will be a Titan next year. And you'll like this. His fall team is the Yankee Scout Team SoCal.
I like that.
And I'm glad you're reading their GPA too, because it just shows that, you know, baseball is their life. You know, this is what they want to do, but education comes first. You know, it's more than just sports, it's an education. And, you know, props to them for grinding it out and, again, just getting accepted to these colleges.
As he floats it on over, right over the head, and Hamza Facenda with the throw, not in time. As Borgogno able to get back on over to first for the RBI single.
It looks like we have action in the Rockhound bullpen, number 4.
I believe that's Rylan Haney. Or no.
I don't
That's
have.
not.
It says Margiota?
Yeah.
Wow.
It might be Margiota.
I'm looking down
because
at
he's the sidearm. Yeah.
Latch pops it up. Miscommunication. Krebs finally calls Nunez and Allen off to end the inning. Puffcaps able to extend their lead to 15-2. We'll be back with the Rockhounds.
This is Kirby Broadbent. Thanks for watching Solana College Sports Network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we have a new pitcher for the Puffcaps, Ryan Rodriguez. He's throwing up his warm-up pitches, trying to get loose in this cleanup roll.
Yeah, this 13-run ball game. Good time for
getting some work in.
Getting some work in.
And we're in the bottom of the eighth inning. You know, in these at-bats, I still expect the Rockhounds, of course, to come out and try and put in 100% effort. But, you know, when you're looking at the scoreboard and you're seeing down by 13, it kind of just, again, punches you in the gut.
Trying to find the stats on Ryan Rodriguez. Honestly, I've just found his Twitter account, but
you
that's
can
about
read
it.
his tweets. I think that's fine.
Well, the one that stood out. Yeah.
As we have Dominic Fossalina stepping in for his first AB.
Let's just talk about Dom instead of Ryan Rodriguez's Twitter account.
Yeah. Out of Utah.
He's comfortable in this position as he's led off a lot of the time for the Rockhounds, so leading off an inning. Something very comfortable for this new center fielder in this game.
Looks like we have a lot of action in the Rockhound bullpen. More people are getting up, getting loose.
Fossalina swings and misses.
Honestly, I would have loved to see Margiota in as a pitcher, just because we've seen him all
do everything else.
Yeah, semester long. with the Solano team, and he was warming up as a sidewinder. A little Chad Bradford-esque Steve Cishek.
Do you guys want to know another funny story?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Be prepared for this.
Okay.
After the game, we were, shutting down, taking everything down. We were talking, Chris and I were talking to, as Fossilina swings and misses, 2-2 the count, talking to Vinny Margiotta's dad, talking. And then Fossilina's parents come up to us, and we're all talking, ha, 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 ha. And I asked her, his mom, hey, so I call him Tim Lincecum because of the hair and the tall and skinny. Do you think he likes that? She's like, yeah, I think he'd like that. So you know what, guys? I'm sticking to the Tim Lincecum comp until he comes up to me and says, please stop. Because his mom gave me permission. So that's that's the funny story. Not really funny, more of like, I'm going to do it.
More like you're right.
Yeah. I'm always right, so there's that.
Fossilina able to stay alive on the 2-2.
I just learned from you, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian just absolutely killed it today in the broadcast booth with the puns.
And the, not broadcasters, jinx.
Fossilina high fly ball left side. Unable to make the play is Borgano. And Fossilina reaches on the hit. Looks like he might have lost it in the shade over there at third.
Also, the wind played a factor. I feel like did the pop-up dance. If you look out straight by the 370 mark in the outfield, the winds the flags are blowing right now.
Yeah, they're blowing from left to right. So obviously, that was the direction too that he was going. He was going towards his left.
As Quilliton takes the ball out.
His left, our right.
Thanks for the clarification.
Well, yeah, because I was saying he's blowing left to right, and if I said he moved to his left, then that is the opposite direction, but since his back is to the flag.
Fouls it off. Quilliton had that nice home run over the short porch out there in left field, right in front of the scoreboard. In the bottom half of the fourth. Scored the 1 of 2 Rockhound runs on the day. Takes a fastball, just hits the outside part of the plate, down 1-2.
Hopefully our cameras got that, because I remember earlier in the spring season for the Solano Falcons, he hit a bomb and our camera guy wasn't really on it and actually just missed his home run completely, and Kenny was not too pleased with that.
I think that was right in the middle of a camera switch. Was it Colt? Can't remember.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I do remember that game because as Quilliton strikes out looking on the front door curveball, low inside, just catches the plate for Rodriguez for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Facenda. Quilliton was not happy about that call. Facenda fouls it back.
I mean, home plate umpire has been consistent from my eyes throughout the whole game, just in that certain situation for Kenny, not too pleased with that call.
Yeah, he was just Rolexing because he was just watching.
Look at you go, Brian.
He was window shopping.
Yeah, window shopping.
That was a good one. I'm just going to say that. That was a really good one. I think that...
No one's judging you. No one's judging
I'm just
you.
throwing it out there.
Judging Aaron Judge. That was a Yankees joke for you.
The 1-1 to Facenda. 2-1.
Senda is 0 for 1 hit by pitch, and he also recorded a sac fly, RBI.
He swings and misses on that fastball from Rodriguez. Evens up the count.
He almost broke his own ankles on that swing.
Yeah, Facenda doesn't get cheapened when he swings aggressively.
Going up to swing, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But the occasional start today hasn't started that much this summer. So looking to prove his point as he check swing foul first base side. Right on over to the visitors' bullpen.
And check swing fouls are always so bad, like when you're up there, because you're thinking yes, yes, and then last minute, no, but too late, the ball already hit it. And thankfully there's already 2 strikes on him, so it didn't really do much for him. But still, the check swing foul, never a good feeling.
The 2-2 to Facenda. Curveball hung up there from Rodriguez. Fossilino on his way to third. Facenda with a big turn over there at first. Stays put. That'll set up first and third with Kyle Krebs stepping up.
What I kind of liked was the entire Puff Cap dugout was yelling 2 to the center fielder, telling him not to try to throw out the runner advancing to third. So even in this 15-2 game, you're still having the fundamentals taught to you, and to have an entire dugout being on one page to be like, hey, hold Facenda to just first base, keep the double play in order. I think that was pretty cool to see an entire dugout kind of.
Always nice to have your dugout in the game, because a lot of the time, they tend to tune out. I think that's another thing that the coach probably, works with the team is, staying in the game, staying in the zone, and just hard work. And obviously it's paid off. I mean, they had before the game in their batting practice, they did, stations. You don't see that too often before a game. So Krebs is down 0-2.
I also like the fact that they are up by such a large amount that no matter what, they're still going to play baseball. You see a lot of times that, Krebs pops that up, foul. You see a lot of times, they're not, they kind of, in a way, feel bad for the other team. They I'll take the extra base, wouldn't really care, and for them, they don't take the extra base. But you know what? It's baseball, and regardless, you still have to play. And I appreciate, like Brian said, the team heads up, go for 2.
Krebs right back to Rodriguez. Knocks it down. Just get Krebs going to first. Facenda moves up to second on the fielder's choice.
You're talking about the luck of baseball there. Kyle Krebs did a great job of going right back up the middle, but just unlucky as Rodriguez just put his glove down there and stopped it from going right between his legs in the center field. Could have been an RBI for Krebs.
That just shows you how the Caps have been playing today, that it's going their way.
One and 0 to LeBeau. Fastball in the dirt.
LeBeau's actually 1 for 2 with a single strikeout, and he walked.
He fouls that right in front of the Rock Hounds dugout. Looks like Max Smith had to lean back on that one.
He already had a bloody nose earlier. Don't think he wants another one.
Doesn't want a baseball to have some seams imprinted on his face.
For a Giants fan, Krug and Kipe called that the ugly finder.
Gotta love it. 2-1 to LeBeau.
I love the baseball lingo, when a player trips in the outfield, sniper, stuff like that.
LeBeau pops it up. Under it is Stevenson over there at second, and that'll end the inning. Top of the 9th we go. 15-2. Puff Caps.
Hey, I'm Wyatt McCampbell. Thank you for watching Solano College Sports Network.
Welcome back as we head to the top of the ninth. As Cody Stevenson leads it off for the Puff Caps. As new pitcher, Vinny Margiotta is on the mound getting his first taste of pitching thus far this summer. He does a, looks like knuckleball for a ball just outside.
Proud dad standing right next to us, recording his son, of course. Ooh.
Stevenson's up 2-0.
Yeah, it's wise for Stevenson to just take a couple because knuckleballs are temperamental. Stevenson 2 for 4 out of the 9 hole.
I love his little leg kick, too.
Little R.A. Dickey in him.
Yeah.
The 3-0. Fastball in there. 3-1.
I love seeing. Sorry, I love seeing position players. Typically, position players pitch after.
Fastball hits the inside part. Gets it to a full count.
So that was just a setup, right? The 3 knuckleballs, just so he can zoom the fastball in there.
Get the fastballs in his head now, and now he doesn't know it's going to come on the 3-2. Here it is. Knuckleball outside. Stevenson walks.
There's a lot of people in the world, whether it's in the majors or high school or anything, that hate the knuckleball. They think it's they associate it with almost like cheating. Like they associate it with the whole like spitball and stuff like that. I just think those are the people that can't hit it and are just really salty about it.
I mean, it's so hard to throw. And to just get it over the plate as Margia throws a wild pitch. Moves Stevenson over to second.
Yeah, because ideally with the knuckleball, you want 0 spin on the ball, so it just kind of floats up there, dances.
Once you throw it, you don't know where it's going.
Yeah.
Fastball, driven to left center from Rivas. Facenda under it, able to make the catch. Stevenson stays put at second. 1 out.
Yeah, Rivas was jumping on the first fastball he could see. Lifted out to left center.
Selma.
It was a great throw by Facenda out there, too, to hit Hamza, hit the cut.
Quentin Selma up 3 for 4. 3 singles, sac fly, 3 RBI.
He fouls that left side out of play. Margiotta able to get ahead, 0-1.
There you go. Look at our camera behind home plate.
Knuckleball outside.
We had put our main camera over on the first base dugout for quite a long time, but now we got a little better zoom, so changed locations once again, back behind the backstop.
Selma drives the fastball from Margiotta into right field. Stevenson will stay put at third. It'll be a first and third situation here.
Yeah, 13-run ball game. Just go station to station. No need to hustle too much.
Don't need to push anything.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's part of the unwritten rules in baseball.
Just having pinch runner over there at first base. Adam Seminaris coming in for Selma. I'll have switch hitter Trey Cruz. That's first hit of the day. Last half innings of the inside out. A fastball just foul down the left field line. Rock Hounds lucky that wasn't fair. That was going to be trouble. Nonetheless, Margiotta gets ahead 0-1. The 0-1 from Margiotta. Knuckleball catches the outside corner 0-2. Cruz did not like that call as he's shaking his head.
I love the sidearm by Vinny
Went with the sidearm knuckle, which definitely throws hitters off as he throws a fastball. Just missed out the inside part of the plate.
So 2 ways of funkiness from Margiotta, the straight up knuckleball and now changing arm slots to go side.
Keeps the hitter guessing as he throws the knuckleball in the dirt. Nunez not able to find it. Turns his head around. Does. Runner stay put. 2-2.
I mean, it's always hard to catch a knuckleball, especially like you said, he's changing his arm slot and now he's throwing at an angle, and it's only so much Mickey can do, or any catcher can do back there. That's why you see a lot of major leaguers having a specific catcher whenever they pitch, because that's the catcher that they throw pens with.
As fastball gets away from Nunez, that'll allow Stevenson to score, making it 16-2.
We just got to get Doug Mirabelli out of retirement and sign him to the Rock Hounds.
You know, regardless if it's a knuckle, curveball, or anything like that, you still have to be a wall back there. You can't allow those pass balls or even wild pitches. You do your best. Not saying Mickey's not trying his best, but you still got to, be a wall back there.
Yeah,
Cruz fouls his bat.
Easier said than done.
Left side.
If I were Nunez, I would switch to a first baseman's glove for sure.
See, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to mention, usually with a knuckleball, you go with the first baseman. Kind of like a first baseman's glove. So,
because all the padding just makes it so much harder to catch because of the movement so unpredictable.
Yeah, you got to stay loosey-goosey up there behind the dish.
I mean, Mickey just coming in the inning before, he pinch hit, and now he has to catch a knuckleballer, so it's not easy for him either.
As Cruz steps in for the 3-2 again.
Wonder how many times his dad faced like Tim Wakefield in the AL East with Jose Cruz Jr. versus Tim Wakefield.
That'd be nice to.
I was trying to look. Yeah, I was trying to look up the stats, but I'm not ESPN Stats Inc. I can't go that far into Jose Cruz Jr.'s career to find individual matchups versus knuckleballers. I was trying. Apparently, they don't Google it.
Yeah, we don't have a.
No one Googles it.
They just have a database of information. That's just unfair.
So Cruz able to draw the walk against Margiotta.
Swing and miss by Beck.
Brendan Beck fouls that back.
Beck walked with the bases loaded, so he has an RBI and a run scored eventually. No official at bat.
And excuse me, looks like it ended up hitting off of Nunez's glove instead. Thought I'll have the runners move up 90 feet. So second and third now.
Yeah, I thought I heard a little sound that it foul tipped, but it might have been the glove.
Mm-hmm. Margiotta throws a fastball for a ball outside, 1-1.
Yeah, no bullpen activity either. So with the score the way it is, will be Margiotta's inning.
As Beck drives out over to third to Page. Page does not tag the runner and Cruz. Airmails Krebs over there at first. That'll score 2, making it 18-2.
Yeah, second time we've seen Page overthrow the first baseman Krebs in this one. And with the runner right there in front of his face.
Just not smart baseball.
It's the lack of baseball IQ that Page has shown with those 2 errors. It's just he had time, and I feel like he just overthrew it, of course, and he just rushed it as it goes to him again.
See if makes a nice throw over to Krebs for the second out.
I mean, we all know Page is, of course, capable of making a routine play. It's just those instances where he is rushing himself and that certain situation, he, double clutch, took his time, and then threw to Krebs at first.
And that was Tanner Beebe who grounded out, pinch hitting for Zach Presno. This is Tim Tawa, the Oregon standout.
Takes a fastball in. That'll send Beck to the plate, making it 19-2. Puff Caps.
This inning is just how the Rock Hounds have been playing today. It just shows the defense side, the pitching side of it, just not going their way this game. Obviously, 18-2 score. The bright side is Vinny does have 2 outs in the inning.
Tawa fouls it left side. Be 1-1. The knuckleball from Margiota in the dirt, 2-1.
Mickey letting that go past him, and obviously he's not happy with himself. And you know what, like I said, there's only so much Mickey can do, you know, back there with a knuckleballer, with, you know, what he's throwing.
Tawa fastball low, 3-1.
Yeah, I don't know how many guys at Laney throw knuckleballs for Nunez to practice.
As Tawa draws the walk against Margiota. That'll have Brett Borgogno. Wow, that would butcher
Sorry,
that one.
one more time?
Yeah,
Bless you.
I'm not going to.
Do you want to try some?
No, I had it the first time, but yeah, that kind of tongue twisted me right there. I don't know why.
Now batting Brett Borgono.
Borgono.
Oh, very
French.
Italian.
Very
Or
Italian.
Yeah, it is French. Bonjour. That's French, right?
Bonjour, and that's with a J.
Well, I'm not looking at the spelling.
Yeah, DiGiorno, basically.
All right, guys. It's 18-2 here in the top of the 9th inning.
This ball gets away from Nunez.
We do have Vinny's dad next to us. I'm pretty sure he can teach us Italian.
That's true.
Pronunciation, proper.
I think he's focused right now on Vinny. He has not broken eye contact.
Yeah, he's got other things on his mind. Than being our Rosetta Stone for Italian.
I still say it's French, but
we'll ask Brett after this at bat.
Margiota able to find the zone here, 2-1.
Hey, are you French?
I'm gonna ask him after the game.
Swing if you're French. See, he's not French.
I'm asking him after the game. Again, I'm always right. So can you guys stop, please? 3-1 count to Mr. French.
What is he, mustard?
Okay, I'm not winning today. All right, Brian, I get it.
As Frenchie, according to Soad, draws the walk.
I need respect, guys, okay? I'm trying my best here. It's 18-2, okay? I'm pulling through.
Yeah. Oh, and there's your favorite look from the pants.
Just look at those. Like, the ratio of how many... Oh, I just don't get it.
You don't see baseball pants made like that anymore.
Get, you know, cleats that cover your ankles if you're going to rock those pants, or just get pants that...
Usually you see the loose fit. You don't... Like, those remind me of, like, 10-year-olds playing Little League.
Exactly.
Margiota.
I think I'm going to have to sit down and do a fashion lesson with him. So obviously fashion is key in baseball. That's the only reason why everyone plays baseball.
The 2-0 from Margiota. Fastball in there. 2-1.
There's been no action in the outfield for the Rock Hounds. So they're just standing around.
Cool.
Latch. Swing and a miss, making it 2-2.
Had a little uppercut on that one.
Trying to go deep.
He heard us talking about his pants.
The 2-2 from Margiota. Fastball in the dirt. That'll make it a full count. Runners will go. The 3-2 from Margiota. The pitch. Fastball just out of the zone. That'll load the bases here for Stevenson and getting his second AB of the inning.
And he walked his first at bat against Margiota. Tawa, Borgiano? Yeah. And Lash all walked to load the bases.
1-0 to Stevenson.
Still 2 outs here.
Stevenson fouls it back on the fastball from Margiota.
They've just been batting around with 2 outs. It's also the free passes they've been getting too, the walks, the misplays by Mickey back there, or Page at third.
Finds the strike zone on the fastball, 1-2. See if Margio can get the Rock Hounds out of this inning.
There in that last shot, you saw a little bit of the activity of the bullpen of the Rock Hound side.
Stevenson swings and misses, and that'll end the top of the ninth. Bottom of the ninth we go. Rock Hounds looking to at least do something here in the bottom half. 18-2, Puff Caps.
This is Grant St. Martin. Thank you for watching the Solano College Sports Network.
And we're back with the top of the order of the Rock Hounds. Leading it off and Willie Hamza.
Hamza's had a difficult game. 0-for-4, 2 strikeouts. Grounded out, also flew out.
Takes a first pitch strike on the fastball from Rodriguez.
Yeah, he didn't have much luck against the first 2 pitchers in Lamb and Gojkovic. See if Rodriguez is a little bit more something that Holmes is comfortable with facing.
Yeah, Hamza just not having a good time at the plate, like you said. Just not seeing the ball well.
It's going to be more difficult with the shadows, too.
As he flies that out into center. Under it is Rivas for the first out of the bottom half of the ninth.
I don't think the Rock Hounds are going to be too mad if it's just a 1-2-3 inning. 19-2, bottom 9. Like Chris said, leaving the top of the ninth, there's only so much you can do,
I think Page will love to get some frustrations out with some of the defensive mistakes he's been making.
As we have a pitching change, and I'm really
Flash didn't
questioning
even know.
the coach's decision here. But summer ball,
you should get working.
Players got to get their work in.
Going to Arkansas is Bryce Bonin out of Texas.
It's 19-2, not really a closing situation.
Yeah, not exactly, but we'll look at that first warm-up pitch about, 58 feet? 57?
A little bit that.
All right, let's see what ranked.
Let's get the stats on this guy.
Yeah, so perfectgame.org, again, is where I'm getting all this.
He's committed to Vanderbilt.
The #1 shortstop in the state of Texas. The number 5 overall prospect.
In the nation?
In Texas. 14th overall shortstop in the nation, 67th overall. Really impressed in Jupiter, Florida with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
I'm not surprised, guys.
He was committed to Arkansas, but got interest from Rice, Ole Miss, and University of Texas at Austin, or just UT.
You know what? When I was doing my research for this game, I was printing out the stats for the Rock Hounds. I was going to look into the stats for them, and I couldn't find it. You have to subscribe to get their stats. And at first I was like, come on, this is a joke, and they can't be that good. Like, who? Whatever. 19-2 later, they showed me wrong.
As Daniel Page fouls that behind us.
So when he worked out for his showcase for this website at perfectgame.org, his fastball topped out at 92 miles an hour, and his secondary pitch is a slider with a potential plus pitch that's tight, sharp break, and has 2 planes on his break. So goes probably down and across.
Did you see that fastball? Gets right past Page. Sets him at 0-2. Might see that slider here we're talking about. Does a fastball up in the zone. Page able to stay alive.
The Cubs were definitely going to bring him out regardless of the score. You know, it might have had the Rock Hounds questioning why they put him in right now, but it looks like they would have had him in regardless of the score.
And oh, by the way, it was a 26th round draft pick by the Cubs this year.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what?
No biggie.
Whatever. Do you? Wasn't the Yankees, Chris? Sorry about that, but.
Yeah, I like the Cubs. They got a good ball club. As Page fouls it back once again. Still 1-2.
Imagine just being drafted out of high school. Imagine that. Even if you go 20th, first round, 20th, doesn't matter. You get drafted. That means scouts went to see you and they picked you. That's just amazing.
So you see that slider. It's Page swings, it looks like. Not able to hold up a swing, but ball does get away from Latch.
Yeah, once he realized he went around on that check swing, I like that Page just put his head down and ran, because clearly Lash didn't catch that cleanly, so was able to reach base here for Mickey Nunez. Nunez singled, I believe, in his pinch hitting appearance for Max Smith.
It was during the Bermuda Triangle out there.
Oh,
That just dropped.
Right.
Nunez takes that plus 90 fastball from Bonin. 0-1. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
He's got a little hitch in his delivery.
A little deceiving.
Yeah.
Up there on the mound. The 0-2 from Bonin. Fastball blew it right by Nunez. Sits him down. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
So 2 Ks, 1 out for Bonin.
Right fielder, Nathan Gutierrez.
It's crazy when stuff like that happens, when you strike out but you reach because of that, and then at the end you might have 4 strikeouts in 1 inning.
Yeah, exactly. But he came in with 1 out, so he won't be able to strike out the side, but he could still get 3 strikeouts.
That's crazy.
Baseball's
Baseball's crazy.
Strike. 0-1. Yeah, you don't see that too often. Come in with 1 out already, have 2 strikeouts. Can potentially still strike out the side.
Yes, I feel like there's so many things in this game that are just explained. That's just baseball.
That's
Gotta love it. As Gutierrez is down 0-2. Bonin looking to close out this win for the Puff Caps. The 0-2 from Bonin. The pitch. Fastball up and away. The 1-2. Gutierrez not able to hold up on his swing. That'll do it here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium. Puff Caps come out on top 19-2 against the Rock Hounds. So Brian, what did you guys see from today's game?
Well, I saw a lot of stuff that we usually see with the Rock Hounds. A lot of misplays in the outfield, a lot of corner infield mishaps and stuff like that. And it's just something that I know it's summer, but they just got to clean it up a little bit. You know what I mean? You take baseball with a grain of salt. You got to just learn from your mistakes. I know they're putting in 110 effort out there, not saying that they're not, but just little things like that they need to do better and help out their pitcher so he doesn't have stress innings and throws a bunch of pitches.
Well, just kind of looking at it from the Puff Cap side of things, their damage really was in the first 3 innings and the last 3 innings. Really, their talent was on display. Obviously, with a team full of 18-year-olds, there's some experience issues you might see when you come into the game, but sometimes talent just overweighs, and in this game, 19-2. That just shows what kind of talent they have over on that side of the field.
Nonetheless. So, Puff Caps, again, 19-2 over the Rock Hounds. Chris Savaglia here again with Brian Nelson and Sohan Balazzi here at Billy and Louise Yarborough Stadium. Great matchup today, but Puff Caps able to come out on top.
Yeah, so for all of us here at the Solano College Sports Network, we'd like to thank you on behalf of our camera crew, our production team, Anthony Williams, John Nickel. Thank you for watching.